We're here with another episode of Dem Boys. How you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up? We've been gone for almost a whole ass month.
That's a wet ass month.
That's some wet ass month. How have you been? What have you done? What has you have had?
um, the month hung out with my brother.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
I was supposed to go see Wesley.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But you said that's unfortunate.
No.
I am not the one that had the car there though. This is sold out. I'm sorry.
Looking at the thing.
But what's it called? Yeah. So my brother was, I didn't have a car while I was up there because he scooped me and then we just like hung out. But I don't know. I mean, I hung out. We all started collecting Lorcana cards together now.
I'm sorry, what?
Lorcana cards.
Lorcana?
Uh-huh. Hi.
Hi. I'm hearing your TED talk now. Please
Do
go
you know
ahead.
what Lorcana is?
No idea. Is it like magic?
It's Disney cards. That's like magic.
Oh,
Disney.
that's the thing that you sent a picture of?
Yeah. Did I? I don't remember. Is it in the Discord?
You sent in the Discord. I saw you sent a Lion King Pride.
So
the Pride lands.
Do you see those lines going through the middle?
Yeah.
That's a error print. It should not have those lines going through it. So as a haha, I put it on eBay for a bunch of fucking money. Nobody hit it, so
okay.
We'll see. One day maybe. Look, dude, error print cards, depending on what it is and how much somebody wants it, it could be worth money.
Hey man, I can't fault you for that because like I know there's like cards that are like that, and I think that most infamous thing I could think about is Amiibos, where it was the double cannon Samus. That one was like the crazy one. Oh yeah, I can't fault you for that.
This Riftmaster doesn't have a dongle, by the way.
No, Riftmaster, no. How can it play
Bluetooth, baby?
How will I ever be able to play my PS3 Guitar Heroes that I don't have?
How will I ever lose the dongle again so I can't play on my PS3?
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so I did that. My brother started collecting magic cards again, which is interesting because he's not into it anymore. Like when I told him I was like getting back into it because I had seen a set called the Kamigawa set, which is a very Japanese-ish set. I like them. I think they're cool. So I started collecting them. And I almost had that full set. And then I started collecting one called All for One, which
I thought it was like a My Hero Academia thing.
No, it's another set for there's like not millions. There's hundreds of sets of Magic. So I started collecting that one. I'm almost done collecting that one as well. Probably need like 58 cards for each set to finish up that. And then the Lorcana, I started collecting the third set, which I need about 38 cards to finish that set. So maybe like $20 to finish it. I just have to go buy the singles.
Okay.
So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And something happened today. My brother is collecting the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering sets.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing those.
There are almost 1,000 cards in that set, and he started looking up what the like cheapest way to do it is, and they were like, "It's really not cheap. It's because they're some of the hardest ones to get."
Yeah, because like, weren't those like limited editions, kind of in a way?
They're still on the shelf.
Oh, they're still being printed. Okay.
So they must be still being printed. They are something sorry, hold on. I feel like I'm gonna hiccup.
It's okay.
They aren't used in something called standard. They might have been. I don't think they were though. I think they were always used to be made in the. They were always meant to be used in the gameplay thing called Legend and Commander. And Commander is when, as far as I understand, I started looking up some of this stuff because I only play Standard and I didn't know anything about Commander or Legend. But Commander is based around one card in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
So the card in your deck would be your commander, the guy you want to protect or use or whatever the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can play him at any time, but I think if he dies, you lose, something like that. I don't know. So like, it's basic magic, and then the commander's there, and then like all your cards need to like be based around him for some reason. It's weird. I don't really like it. I like standard better. And then legend is just like legacy cards, I believe, like old cards that you can use pretty much anything, but there are obviously like some stipulations. So the cool thing that happened for him today was he was going through, he bought these collector packs, which collector packs guarantee a bunch of holographics and probably like a mythic or something. Like maybe don't guarantee a mythic, but like you definitely get holofoil rare cards, which is good because that's something people want. And he opened one of the packs, and there's something called a serialized card. Now, a serialized card means there were only a finite number of them printed, so 0 through whatever. And on his card, it was out of 100, and he got the 75th one out of 100. And he looked up the card, and the base card without that serialized number on it, without the 75 out of 100, it was $2.60. But because it was serialized, it is worth almost $600 fucking dollars for one card. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And he was like, and that's not even the most expensive one. He was like, if I got like Aragon or whatever, the Aragorn, I don't know the guy's name. I don't like Lord of the Rings. Can you say his name? I don't know his name. Do you know his name?
Aragon.
Aragon. Okay. Aragorn is the dragon from that stupid book, right?
Uh,
Aragorn's book.
Aragorn or
Yeah.
Aragorn, something like that. I remember. I never.
Yeah, ergonomic seating.
Yeah,
So
Aragon.
so he
Well,
was
actually,
like
no. I've heard it two different ways. Now you're getting me confused because now I feel like I'm misremembering it. I'm having like a Mandela effect right now because I don't remember if it is
you do
pronounced Aragorn or Aragon.
you do look like Mr. Mandela himself.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Shit, I remember the characters. Anyways, continue. Now, like, now I don't remember the character's name.
Basically, he's like, there's rare cards that are worth like thousands of dollars. And he was like, but I didn't get that one. And I was like, I mean, it's still cool. Like, he got the one that he got.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he said was, I'm not selling it. And I was like, yeah, if it's your collection, don't sell it.
Laminate it. Get it laminated.
No, you never laminate a card. Get the fuck out of here.
Get a card protector.
The thing he bought came with this, like, so you know when you get something graded and it's enclosed in that plastic?
Oh, yeah.
So his set he bought gave him magnetic versions of that, so you can put the card in the middle and always open it if you want to. So he put it in that casing. And the only other thing that was cool about this was the packs he was buying from the store were for the collector edition. He only bought one, was $50 fucking for one card package. That's 12 cards in one pack.
Yeah.
For $50. So he went on like Amazon or something and found them for like $36, and he was like about 5 of them. And he was telling me how he was at the gym and he was watching a guy on YouTube. He bought 100 of those packages, and he was like, I'm gonna open them all. And he didn't. Like, he was like, I'm just kidding, I'm gonna give some away to the viewers, I'm gonna open some of them though. And he was watching him open it, and he didn't get one of those serialized cards out of all the packs that he opened. So like, call it like maybe he opened like 50 packs, and he was like, didn't get one. And I was like, dude. So it just shows you how rare they are.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's great. No, it's just crazy. It was cool because like, so the other thing, like during Easter, my brother was like, you know, go pick up a few packs of. So my one brother likes Pokemon, so he's collecting all 151 from this thing called I think it's like Violet and something. They're doing a special edition 151 original Pokemon, so he's collecting all those. He almost has all of them. And then my other brother's doing Lord of the Rings, and then I'm doing Lorcana, and I'm doing as well some of the Magic stuff. So he's like, "Go pick yourself out some whatever." He gave me his credit card. I went
Give
and
me
got.
a pack of the boosters.
Yeah, he's fucking hits it on his on his uh on his palm. Oh yeah, these are good ones. So I picked up like $100 worth of product when I went, and then I get back and I give my brother Matthew his Pokemon. I give my brother Michael his Magic, and then I open my Lorcana, and like Matthew gave me and Michael one of the Pokemon ones because he was like, like we should all open Pokemon. It'd be cool, like 'cause we were kids and shit.
Mm-hmm.
No joke, bro. So Michael opens the collector Lord of the Rings, and he gets Sauron, the fucking dude, which like one, artwork beautiful. I don't remember if it's holofoil or not. I think it was. And then he gets Sting, the fucking blue sword.
Oh, that's the shit.
And
Yeah.
holofoil, bro, when you move it, it glows blue.
Yeah, that's
And I was
sick.
like, that's so cool. And then we're going through the Pokemon together, and he rips open the Pokemon. He goes, "You guys are gonna fucking hate me." And I was like, "What?" And he turns it in his Charizard.
Oh,
And we were
damn.
like, "Dude, like this mother." And then like he just hit. This motherfucker's getting hit at the hit. I was like, "That's crazy, dude." Um, but it just made me laugh because like when we were kids, I remember a specific time where we all got Pokemon cards. Like it was one of the first times I remember opening Pokemon cards, and we were in the car. We all had a pack because my mom bought each of us a pack, and I ripped mine open. I got a trainer card as my like rare, and I was like, "Fuck you!" And then both of my brothers. This is not a joke. I'm not like this happened. They both got Blastoise in their packs,
Damn.
and I was like, "Bro, how?" And like I just remember being so mad, but it makes me laugh now because I'm just like, that's like, it's such a crazy coincidence that they were both able to get that. And then obviously Michael getting the Charizard is like, dude, like just the luck in this it's obviously all randomized, right? But it's like crazy that like you can be that lucky.
Yeah, it's just all luck base,
Oh yeah,
basically.
yeah.
That's the thing, is that like I never got into card collecting. I did collect Pokemon cards when I was younger. But I never got like really too into it, of like continuing on to do it, because I realize how I am with certain things, and it's just like I feel like I would get too obsessive with that, and thankfully I didn't, because I'm already obsessed with like buying video games and like other dumb shit.
Yeah.
Looking at my figures to my left side, but still, it's like card hunting is tough. Card hunting is tough out there. As far as I'm seeing, it's like it's rough.
Yeah, it's tougher when I talked to my brother about his Pokemon because he wants to open them all. He wants to get them from opening packs.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's a point where you got to decide though, like, do you actually want the collection or do you want to open the collection? Because opening the collection can cost you $900.
Yeah.
Or you could, like, if you're missing like Butterfree and a base chart, like these little guys, like, you could go buy those for like maybe $3 altogether, And
Mhm.
it's like, just do that. That's way cheaper, and then you'll have your collection. I'm trying to think, like I had said, like I'm missing like 30 Lorcana cards. I could probably just get them for $20. So I don't like, it's not going to make me feel bad for not opening them. I just want to see them in the binder. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends what you want to do with it. If you were gonna keep it for yourself, or if you do plan on reselling it. That's all it is. It's like same thing with like, I guess figures is like the only example I really have, is that like, do I want to open the box of the figure, or do I want to keep it in box, that maybe down the line, I might sell it or something. But
Yeah.
even then, there's still people looking for like out of the box figures and stuff like that. Yeah. The cool thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, I bought these like acrylic, like see-through boxes that I basically just like put the figures into. So now like they're encased essentially. So
No, you're talking about, yeah.
yeah.
um,
But anyways,
yeah, I still have my gold and silver amiibo of Mario because I know they were like limited at the time,
Yeah,
and then they're still in their box. Their box is fucked up though.
that's fair. Yeah, I bought like a shit ton of amiibos. Like I remember I told myself, oh, I'm gonna get like maybe like 2 of like characters that I like, and then like I ended up buying like a good amount of amiibos. The latest one I got was the Sora amiibo.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool. I like Sora.
I got Sora and I got the reprint of Shulk. Hold on. Is that boy Shulk?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shulk looks cool as fuck, man. Is Shulk Fire Emblem?
Shulk is Xenoblade, the British game
Xenoblade, right.
the British game that you hate.
God, I fucking just hate it. There you
and
go.
then
HDMI.
and then Sora.
That looks so cool, dude.
But
That's so cool.
But the other thing is Cloud got a reprint. So I pre-ordered Cloud. So Cloud should be coming in like I think later this month or next month.
Do you know how much the double cannon misprint is or no?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I want to say that it's like pretty expensive at this point. Yeah, the only thing I feel kind of bad is the Shulk one. When I was opening up the box, I didn't realize that the blade for my box cutter was a little too long, so the box on Shulk's amiibo box kind of has how much?
The second most expensive amiibo in the factory era double cannon Samus sold for $2,500.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a lot, but it's not a lot, right? Like,
yeah,
if you sold it for 2,500, like
2 Gs.
Like, what do you?
Really
like, you're not doing really anything with it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like eating McDonald's for a week money. No, I'm just joking. Maybe.
No,
joking.
So yeah, I accidentally like gave Shulk's amiibo box a little bit of a light scratch, but that's just it.
Fucking crying in his bed at night. Why did I do this?
Yeah, sometimes I have those obsessive compulsions in me when it's just like, fuck, I just got this thing. What?
The most expensive amiibo ever sold is the legless Peach with the purchase price of being $25,000.
Legless Peach? I gotta look this up.
Legless Peach, bro.
I gotta look this up.
What the fuck?
Legless Peach amiibo. Oh! I have never seen this.
Did they fuck up? How does that fuck up?
Just happens.
Did they run out of the printing like material or something?
I guess. Yeah, or like they just forgot to.
How crazy is that?
I never realized there was a legless Peach amiibo. Yeah. So I'm waiting for Cloud. Now I have to wait for either Kazuya or Sephiroth to go down in price for amiibos. Anyways,
They're not gonna make them again?
No, they're still out there, but it's just some people are selling them for like $25, $40, and it's like that's twice the amiibo price. That shouldn't be that. I don't know. We'll see. Because that's the thing is that like they're doing reprints of amiibos, and it's like Shulk was like the one that like I was surprised was getting a reprint. Same thing with Cloud. Like they're doing reprints all over again. But to be fair, Kazuya and Sephiroth are kind of newish because they came out during the time where the Smash Brothers Season 2 DLC was happening, which was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point. I don't know. I have to wait and see. So what else did you get into besides cards? Have you played Inscription?
No.
Damn it.
I don't know. What have I done?
We had a whole month.
I mean, damn, I really don't do much, man. I played Destiny. I played League of Legends. Those are like the two main things I do.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of card stuff recently. It's because you know what I can't do? I can't remember like the month in like
in general.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like
March was kind of an iffy month.
I don't know. I had like a bunch of other stuff to do, like that non-fun related shit. So like,
Mhm.
I watched Nobody's Coming to Save You on Hulu. You know what that is?
Nobody's coming to save you. No, I don't think I know
Yeah.
it.
You care if I run it down or?
No, go ahead.
It's a made for Hulu movie, which is funny because like made for TV, made for Hulu. Um, it's about this girl that wakes up at night. I don't really understand it, like as far as why the people didn't like her. This is weird shit. Aliens basically is the whole thing.
Okay.
She wakes up, you hear this like and then like thing chasing her, and then she closes her door, and then like it's really funny because like so the alien's foot has like fingers on it, like 3 fingers,
Mm.
but they're toes technically, right? Because it's a foot.
Mhm.
And when it extends them, it makes it taller. So like it can like push them into the ground and push itself up by the toe fingers. And um it like gets to her and like it's weird. Like I guess it doesn't see her and it leaves the window in the beginning. And then like they do like a whole run around. So I really heavily remember the beginning. I don't know
Mm.
why. She kills it accidentally, I guess, or she's trying to fight it. So I don't know if she's trying to actually kill it, but like she grabs like I think there's like a model like Eiffel Tower or like some pointy building on the ground because she did like how like a model for the city or something.
Mhm.
And she like shoves it through its head and it dies. And then she's like, there's no talking in this movie, by the way, um, for like most of it, right? So
Mhm.
like she she gets up and like tries her car and her car doesn't work. That's like really typical for alien stuff, right? Because like whatever the fuck EMS or whatever the fuck it's called, not EKG, whatever the fuck turns things off. It's like, oh, like that's how their ships run or something or whatever the fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
So her car doesn't start. She has blood all over her face, and I'm like, you should take a shower. And then in the movie, she's like, I should take a shower. So she takes a shower. And I was like, cool. I predicted I'm so good at this. And then sure. So she takes a shower, whatever, does all the stuff. She goes to go into town, and like on her way to town, she notices like the mail truck. Um, there's a mail truck flipped over, so like that guy got abducted, and then she checks like a neighbor's house, and that person got abducted.
Mhm.
And then she gets into town, and everyone's in town. And I was expecting like everyone to just be gone. I was like, what the fuck? And then like they don't like her in town, so she goes back and like starts like fortifying her house. It's just really weird. And then aliens fight her, so it's fun.
Good movie.
It was okay. I don't think it was great. Um, I don't know. It's like whatever. Another movie I watched was Migration.
Migration. Is that an animated movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's a duck.
Okay.
That made me happy.
That's good.
Just I didn't know he was in it, and then like it looked good, and like I was with my brother, and I was like, uh, you know, it's his like Apple TV thing, so I didn't like want to rent it. I was like, like if he wants to watch it later, I put it on like a list. And then he ended up renting it, and he was like, let's watch this shit. And I was like, all right, so we're watching it, and like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I didn't expect this movie to be like
Good.
start to finish hilarious, but holy shit, man. Illumination and whoever the fuck else was, I think like Universal owns them, I think, or whatever, whoever owns Universal now or whatever.
Yeah.
But Illumination did a really good job with this shit, man. And like I don't remember the guy's name, but the main character is hilarious. He does like a really good voice for it. The mother character also was really good. The kids were really good too. Like it just happened to be like all the voice actors are really good.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just like a tale of like the dad doesn't want to do migration, like what ducks do or whatever. I don't know if they always do it, but whatever. They're supposed to migrate, and then like he never does it, and then like the wife is like, oh, you never want to do anything fun, like, and then like
Yeah.
it's like heavily implied she's like kind of want to divorce you.
I
And
kind of
I'm like,
want. Duck
Fuck.
divorce. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was like, can we not
Duckvorce.
put this in my fucking like
How
technically
dare they
Disney
put
movie?
Duckvorsing in my Disney Illumination movie owned by Universal?
So they end up doing it, and like, there's a bunch of fun stuff I don't want to say because like you should definitely watch that
I'll
because
probably
it's
give it
really
a
good.
I'll probably give it a shot. I like a lot of Illumination stuff that they've done. Um, I forget, were they the one behind is it the Mitchells versus Machines or something like that? It was on Netflix.
I don't know.
It was like an animated movie about like this family on a road trip and everything gets invaded with like robots and stuff like that. That was a fun movie. I remember that.
If it is, I looked up a bunch of their stuff.
Illumination.
Yeah, and they do a lot of good like shit. Let's
Like
see.
Minions or Despicable Me.
So my brother was like, "Yeah, they did Minions," because he was like, "That's their most notable thing," and I was like, "Really?
Yeah,
I
Illumination.
don't prefer. I don't really
I
like."
mean, to be fair, Despicable Me came first, so
Doesn't mean they're bad.
put
Like it's not a bad movie.
put some respect on their name.
No, Columbia Pictures, Sony Pictures,
Oh, so Sony technically owns it.
Animation. Doesn't look like Illumination did it,
Okay, never mind then.
unless one of these people owns it. Columbia Pictures might own them.
So yeah, did you watch any more animated movies? You
um,
baby.
no, Universal Picture owns them.
Okay.
Um, you baby. What did we watch? Oh, he never saw Midnight Mass, so we watched the entirety of that. He hated all the monologues because they were long.
Really?
They're so long. Go back and watch it again and find out how much you hate that shit. Like
I
it was fun the first time, but it's fucking terrible the second time.
Here's the thing. I actually like the monologues.
Mm,
I like them because it's like, oh wow, these are very well written, and the point of a lot of them is to like describe each and every character of like what their thought processes are, and I was fine with it. And that was the funny thing, was that a lot of people were actually complaining because of how long people were talking to one another. But I think
yeah,
the reason why that show sticks with me a lot is because most of those monologues are the idea of like what life and death is, and like
yeah,
what these people think it is. So I think it's fine for me personally. I would have to give Midnight Mass like a second watch. I'm trying to think if I can convince my cousin to watch it because I don't think she's seen it, but she's one she's one of those people that like I'm pretty sure that like a lot of talking and a lot of monologues would not be her thing. But who knows?
yeah. We were watching it and like he was like,
They talk forever.
no, he was trying his best to get through the first one, and like she was. It's still. I think it's the one where they talk about. No. Was it? They do it before. There's one of them I can't remember. I just can't remember the specific one. I'll go with the one that I remember. So the one where he's talking about, well, where him and Aaron Green. I think her name's Aaron Green. Uh,
Oh, the love interest?
yeah, they're talking, and her baby's dead. And they're both talking about what life and death is to
Oh,
them
when they're on the
as far
couch.
as like, yeah. And like I think that talk takes maybe 5 minutes. Um and that might be for just one person to finish their side of it.
Mm.
And he's talking and he's talking and he's talking about what he thinks death is or what happens
Oh,
when he dies.
okay.
And we're probably 2 minutes in, and he's like, how fucking long does this go for? And in my head, I was also going like, yeah, how long? Like I was thinking it before he said it, and I was like, dude, for real. And then he fast forwarded through the rest of it, and he was
Hey.
like, fucking. He's like, I'm not watching this. Like he's like not watching that part. So he skipped to like when she stops talking, and then we continued, and like it's the end of the episode pretty much at that point. And he was like, what the like, fuck that. And I was like, that's completely fair.
Hey man,
Not
I
to,
get
and
it.
again, like you had said, it's well written, and that is true. Like that's not true, right?
Mm.
But for sure, like it's the same thing with me in Lord of the Rings, where
Everyone's
they're
whisper
like,
talking.
this Fucking talk like a normal human being, you piece of shit.
They talk like normal people. We're not doing this again.
I don't know when we're going to go out tonight, but it's so dark and we might get bitten by orcs.
I have to see if Lord of the Rings is on Prime Video, so then we can all do movie night and watch it.
I'll show up and I'll fucking talk the whole time,
and
so
you'd be like,
hear it.
Yeah, good. And you'd be like, where are the orcs? Are the orcs here? Yeah.
I can't believe the fucking only part of that movie that's good is you shall not pass.
So that's the thing. When you watch Midnight Mass for the first time, were you by yourself?
Yep.
So I think that's also the case as well. Is that like I think being, I wouldn't say influenced, but it's just like I guess kind of understanding other people's ideas of like what they want from a television series it's obviously all opinionated, it's all objective, so it's like it's tough to really make a call on certain shows, especially a show like that where it's like it's a really slow burn for that show. Yeah. So it's understandable as to like why your brother didn't like have the feel for it, because it does take a while. But maybe next time be like, hey, let's watch it again, and then put Subway Surfers like underneath. And then
like a TikTok. You're such a dickhead. That's funny though.
I think overall, I think it is just like an attention thing, and
put New York Pizza Rat on there.
Yeah, put the rat, but like put it on loop, so like or like put it like boomerang style, so like you see the rat go down the stairs, and then the rat goes up the stairs. No, I think it's also like an attention thing, because some shows now, like they're really fast paced, but like I don't know, it just depends if like the writing is good, or like, well, for me personally, it's like if the writing is good, if the show is pretty well paced, and like if it actually grips me and I'm interested in it, of course I'll keep watching it. But no, I can get it from some people that like, oh, I don't want to watch this because it's like it's way too slow. I don't have enough time to do all this shit, so it's like no point in watching it.
So, to be fair, I zone out sometimes. So, like, I don't know if I remember fully engaging in that scene. Mm-hmm. I also might have just fast forwarded through it. I don't know. we're all pretty similar in that sense of like, because like I said, like I thought about it while he was saying it. Basically, I was like, I really don't want to hear this either. And once, so like he liked the part where it was like vampires, religion, right? Yeah. He was like, that's cool. And then like, oh, like this totally makes sense that like people would think this is a religion, but like realistically, like this is actually how like things worked.
I love that concept so much, of just like, oh, the vampire has wings, and the wings means it's an angel, and it's just like, damn, how did no one ever think about that? Like, and then like the blood of the vampire gives you rejuvenation, and it's just like, god damn it, like it's like a lot of smart shit. And then then you get to the moments of like, so what is death all about?
He said the same thing. He was like, I can't believe nobody's ever thought of this.
Yeah, the concept of the vampire stuff is like really interesting. But no, I get it. It's like the mortality stuff of like when they're actually sitting down and talking one another, it does like, I wouldn't say deflate, but it does slow down things like a lot.
Yeah, and it's not even like what they're talking about. Like that's interesting, but like it's the length. And again, like the actors are great. They do their part well.
I think for me, it's like, I think that's why I like those characters, because you have those specific moments where they just talk down and sit about what's going on their minds. So then you actually get to know them as a person, and it's like that's kind of the reason why I like that.
And then that person dies by fire.
Oh god. Because this is a funny thing, is that I also watched a Netflix show which I feel like didn't do any of that, and it was like almost as long as like every other Netflix show, which is like almost an hour, but like there was really nothing to make me care about these characters, because like it's trying to do everything within its story as fast as it can. But I guess when I get to my week, I'll explain what I watched. But with Midnight Mass, it's like they sit down, they're like, I don't agree with you, but I agree with you on some parts. Oh, this is my ideas of what the afterlife can be. Oh, your ideas don't agree with mine because of the fact that I'm viewed as an outsider from your perspective, because I am. And it's like, I like this
Talking
because
about
the sheriff.
Sharif.
Yeah, Sharif. God. But no, and I'm surprised because I'm trying to think, where was that in Midnight Mass, of like when they're talking on the couch, because like, is that like episode 3, or is that actually the first episode? No, that can't be the first
No,
episode. No.
it's like episode 3 or 4.
Okay, because then there's like that
There's
other
only like 6
there's
episodes.
that other scene that happens where it's the main guy and the priest, where they're in like the little like conference room, and they're talking for a while too, like after he gets turned.
You know what pisses me off the most about that shit? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What pissed me off the most about that show was at the end, the priest was like, "Oops." The super religious lady was like, "Well, you don't know what you're saying, Monsignor." And then he's like, "No, I was wrong." And I'm like, "You killed like 3 people."
No. I like your simplification of it. I'll just be like, whoops.
That was him though, like dead
No,
serious. He just goes, "Oops."
because that's the whole well, not the whole purpose, but like that's the whole message of that show, is that like people who follow things blindly and like don't understand certain things but take it at face value and just don't really take into consideration of the things that that are affected around them. That's the whole point of that ending, I feel like, and that message, even though it's very nihilistic. It's a very nihilistic ending with some hope at the end, but still, that glimmer of hope, that glimmer of hope at the end is also kind of like nihilistic as well when you think about it, because the whole thing with that girl on the boat being like, I can't feel my
Can't feel
legs.
my legs.
Yeah,
Bro, when that happened, I looked at my brother and I was like, "Yep." And he was
oh,
like,
so you guys finished the whole thing?
"Yeah, you watched it all."
Oh,
He
okay.
skipped through a bunch of it because, like,
Because of the monologues.
yeah, the monologues we just basically fast forwarded
Monologues.
through.
We need in big print monologues.
To be fair, like,
Midnight
there was
monologues.
more monologue than there was action. And to be fair, like, there should have been more action.
Oh God! All right. I don't
I'm
agree.
not saying like
I don't
kung
agree with
fu
you there.
scenes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like there should be more like
I don't agree with you there, but
there
okay.
should be more like sustenance to have like you paying not attention but like for like the fun factor, you know?
I guess. I think it's. I don't know. I just like Midnight Mass as it is, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was more to it, I guess.
Because I think that's the thing that the show kind of lies to its audience, is that like the Netflix like stuff, like the banners and stuff like that when the show just came out, was like promising like some kind of horror thing, especially from the director slash writer of Haunting of Hill House, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, this next spooky thing, and it's like, no, like the vampire stuff is stuff that's happening in the background, but the bigger tale is these people and their troubles and like what they have to go through, and like,
Yeah, I didn't want the vampire to like go around murdering people. Like I didn't want that. That's not what I'm looking for. When I say action,
you mean
I think you're thinking it wrong.
you wanted the main character to like pull out a stake and be like, "Fuck you, vampire," and then
I gotta
so
kill some more
and then
vamps.
some boy surfers and Pizza Rat are both at the top and the bottom of the screen, and you're like, "This is the action that I wanted."
How unhappy would you be if that's where cinema went? Where they have to have
That's
like
what we
something
said.
going on.
What is it called? Like uh what the fuck
It's a
is that?
TikTok thing.
Yeah,
That's all I
but
know.
they call it something else, like multi-divergent, something like that. I don't remember what the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what I want more of is like I guess I wish there was more characters interacting with more people. I don't really like it felt like the same people just interacting with the same people over and over again.
Yeah, because it's a small like fishing town.
Right, but I wish there were more people because like the mother and father of like the daughter that walks again, you don't get a ton into their
Yeah.
life, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess like it would have been nice to see other people's
Well,
lives, basically.
I was gonna say they do a bit of a background thing where the daughter does, well, the family has issues with the drunk guy, because like
Yep.
they do explain that like offhand, that it does like, oh, there's a reason why we don't deal with him, and
Don't
then
talk to his
yeah,
kind.
and then afterwards, where the girl starts to like walk again, she confronts him and like
Yeah.
basically lays it out to him like, you're a fuck up because you put yourself in that situation, and what you did to me is because of your failure for yourself. And it's just
No praying to God here, boy.
and then that's also the thing that like also like, I don't say it fucks me up, but it's just like, damn, that's some harsh shit. Is that like he tries to like fix himself essentially, and then the vampire is like, no.
But that's part of life, right? You
Yeah.
don't always get second chances.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't.
Not
Especially
everyone gets that second chance.
especially if
Sometimes
you're
vampires eat you.
especially if you're a drunk guy that loves his dog.
I hate that bitch so much that killed his dog.
Yeah, she's it was the religious lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She did such a great job of being such an an evil like
Mm-hmm.
character, who a self-righteous person. She did a fantastic fucking job. I don't think I've ever met somebody that like awful since like Cersei Lannister.
If I met her IRL, I would probably be like, "You are such a good asshole."
Yeah. And she'd be like, "What?" And you're like, "Yeah." The
You remember when you were in Haunting a Hill House and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "The vampire one."
vampire one. Was she in Haunting of Hill House? I don't think so. She was in the Fall of the House of Usher. She was also really good in that.
Your mom was in the Fall of the House Rusher.
Thanks. Now I'm raking in millions. All that Netflix money.
I always, when people say raking in, I always imagine the rake and actually pulling in money. The other thing I watched was another vampire.
Was it Renfield?
No, is that a movie?
Renfield? Yeah, it's the Nicolas Cage one.
Ooh, is it good?
I don't know. I heard mixed things. I never watched it.
What is this movie called, man?
What is it called? What is it called?
I'm looking it up right now. I typed in vampire movies, and there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers. Oh my god, that sounds so familiar. No, I'm thinking of Skinwalkers. What the fuck is Daybreakers?
Ethan Hawking. What is this dude's name?
Oh, Ethan Hawke, and like they're vampires and like they're going through like a famine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like Ethan Hawke is like a scientist vampire or something. Some shit like that.
He is. It's just funny that you can be a scientist vampire.
Hey man, scientist vampires got to do what they got to do.
Gotta figure out this other guy's name real quick because I forget his name.
Is it Udo Kier? I forget if it is.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe is a country.
You mean
a country guy?
You mean Willem Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe is a country guy, so he talks with like kind of like a Texan accent, but it's horrible because Willem Dafoe talks like Willem Dafoe. So he doesn't really have another fucking accent. The only other accent I think he can do is kind of like Irish, and it's kind of because he already feels like he's Irish.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't really think there's a movie where he does an accent that I can think of from the top of my head.
It's usually just like, "Hi, I'm Willem Dafoe," ha 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 ha, you know, like whatever.
I have to watch that Jesus movie he's in.
Take a look at Daybreakers if you ever get a chance.
I remember it. But it's like not that memorable.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Just skip to Willem Dafoe for me when you get a chance at some point. That's all I want you to do. And
never
go, howdy, man.
Never mind. I just remembered. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, he does brownface and he tries to do an accent, and it's like it's really goofy. Yeah, because it's just like Willem Dafoe trying to do a Spanish accent or a Mexican accent. Yeah, never mind.
Willem Dafoe, no joke, is like,
I like him.
I like him too. He's bad at accents. It doesn't matter. Okay. I like him. He's bad. He should have not been cast for a Texan.
It should have been Tom Hanks. Movie.
Tom Hanks probably would have done better.
Yeah.
But it is like, it's one of those things like I see Willem Dafoe and I'm like, oh, I love him. And then like, but it also like, the thing that it adds is comedy. So like you see it and you're like, I just start laughing because like the dude can't do the accent. If you've never seen Willem Dafoe and then you watch this movie and learn who Willem Dafoe is through this, you would still laugh because this guy does a horrible fucking accent. That's
Yeah.
how you would still know he doesn't need, like, this accent doesn't belong to him. So I don't know, like the movie overall is pretty bad. Um
When was that? Like 2010, right?
I think it's
Ish.
2009.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a weird era of movies.
Yeah, 2009 specifically. Um so
Mm-hmm.
uh the one thing I really wasn't expecting was nudity in this movie. And the humans that are hanging that they're drawing blood from, titties everywhere. Just there's titties all over the place. And I was like, really? Like this is what we're doing?
You can't put clothes on them? Titties all out?
No,
Disgusting.
like usually they just don't record that part of the body. Like they'll do head up and then like cover it with like machinery, you know, like that's how they're jacked into the thing.
What was the rating for this movie? It was R, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought you meant number. It is an R, and it's also 6.4 out of 10.
Oh, well. Yeah. Because I don't remember jack shit. All I remember is that Ethan Hawke is a vampire scientist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's whatever.
That's my takeaway from Daybreakers.
The only other thing I did was I tried playing God of War while I was at his house because he has it and I don't.
Ragnarok?
And yep.
Okay.
And you're gonna make fun of me, but too much talking in the beginning, and I turned it off.
It should have been Subway Surfers.
I got like 15 minutes into the beginning, and he was like, "Oh, now I gotta talk to my dead wife," and I was like, "Oh my fucking god! Can I please play the game?"
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have a whole moment of like him walking with what the fuck is her name? With the lady from Daredevil.
Yeah, I was like, "Can I please play the game?" And the game was like, "No, you can walk with your dead wife," and then I turned it off.
God, you missed out on the good part where you continue to walk with your dead wife.
And then I turned Destiny 2 on. So,
damn, now I want to play Ghost Wife, the game.
No, that game looks so stupid.
No, I want to hang out with my ghost wife.
You love terrible things, and I can't understand why.
Well, that's how it be. Because I have the patience for it.
It's not patience, you fucking bitch. It's terrible.
No, it is patience. Says the guy.
Well, then go play that fucking game. I know you don't like this game. I can't remember the name of it. It's good, but Avrium or something.
Or Immortals of Avium?
Yeah.
I played the demo for that. I liked it.
Now go buy the game and play the whole thing because it's good and everyone's lying about it.
It's actually free on PSN.
Good. Now go play it.
Yeah, I will.
Good.
You don't have to tell me that. Coach hates this thing. And I'm like, no, I never said I hated it. Well, go play it. And I'm like,
I'm going to put Subway Rats on it so you play it.
Subway Rats. Wow. How's nobody ever come up with that? Subway Rats. Subway Rat Surfers. Pizza.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I didn't really do anything else.
So you hate God of War? You hate Kratos? You hate how soft he is? Yeah, I get it. I see how
I don't, but if I ever play it again, I'll put it on and then I'll let it just walk through everything it wants to walk through and come back.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that game, to be fair, that game is like a huge time investment because of how long it is. I forget how long it took me when I streamed it, but even then I was doing like side quests and shit like that because what was it? I think the rumors were that originally they wanted the Norse games to be like a trilogy, but they were like, fuck it, we're gonna put like 2 games in one, and that's what Ragnarok is pretty much part 2 and part 3 all stuck in one game.
Good.
Yeah. Until they get to Egypt. And then
think they're going to Egypt or they're definitely going to Egypt?
I don't know. They either got to choose Egypt or Japan.
Yeah. I'm really excited if it goes to Japan because Kratos in Japan.
Kratos in Japan.
Konnichiwa, you know, and then they're like PlayStation 2 and he's like, I'm on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, get over here. And fucking find your, I don't know, wife. I don't know what's happening. I don't care anymore.
I don't know, because like God of War, how it ends feels very definitive, so it's like it feels like unnecessary for it to do anything else afterwards,
Shut up, I
unless.
don't know anything. I don't know the ending challenge.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it. Like, it feels definitive, especially after you play the Valhalla DLC, the roguelike.
I didn't even know there was DLC, and you ruined that for me.
You're welcome.
You ruined it for
Then
me.
play the game and walk with your ghost wife.
Subway Rats. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Beetlejuice 2. That's it. That's all I did. I saw Beetlejuice 2, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that.
Oh yeah, I forgot Beetlejuice 2 is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega, right?
Winona ride her. Okay.
Misogyny. Anyways, continue.
I can't make funny jokes. You know that you would laugh at if you were at a comedian show. You're telling me I'm not a comedian, bro?
No. But continue.
No, I already said ride her, so I'm
Okay.
done.
All right, you're done. That's it? That's all you did?
Yeah, I don't have many
Wow.
things, bro. I don't like video games.
You've stalled this podcast for a whole ass month only to come here and say,
Hold on a second.
I've only played Destiny. I went out with my brothers to get cards.
Pokemon.
I hate monologues. That's
Why do you have like a southern preacher accent?
I don't know. I don't know why it's going that way.
Please. Jesus Christ. I downloaded Diablo 4 for the computer, by the way. Yeah.
Oh damn.
That's it. We're good.
Okay.
Do your thing. How did you do? What happened for
What
you?
did I do this month? I played so many video games. I watched so many of the movies. I've been reading a book. So let me talk about movies. Do you like movies?
I do.
You like movies. So I remember when we did the podcast, I forgot to mention I was finishing watching a movie that day called Boiling Point, which is it's a Japanese movie. It's by Takeshi Kitano. I mentioned before he's the director that did Battle Royale. Fuck, I forgot the name. Violent Cop, I think was one of them. But he's a very well known director. If you've seen his face, you would immediately know, oh, that's like the mean looking Japanese guy. It's so weird too, because like he's a comedian, and like he's actually pretty funny in Japan, but he plays like a lot of like gangster roles, which is hilarious because it's just mostly primarily his face. But I wanted to watch one of this movie. I want one of his movies. There's like a bunch of others that he's done afterwards, but Boiling Point was one of them. Basically the whole premise is that this guy is planning on he gets into like some kind of trouble, and he basically has to go to Okinawa to get like some firearms. This is like all based in like the 80s, and on his way in Okinawa, like he meets Yakuza, and that guy is like really unhinged. And I think the movie's actually like really pretty fun, but it also makes you kind of like scared because like I'm pretty sure that there are like some like mob dudes who are kind of like Takeshi Kitano's character, where they're really unhinged, and he knows how to play like really mean and really like spontaneous and unhinged really well. But yeah, Boiling Point was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think the biggest thing that I can cross off my my list is I finally finished watching all of Ultraman, the original series.
How was that?
As somebody that's wearing the shirt currently,
I didn't notice.
yeah, Ultraman is fun. It's fun. I think I appreciate the series with it, what they were trying to do with special effects of it mostly being practical. The only thing is for it to have it doesn't have a cohesive story. It's just basically Monster of the Week and these group of space scientists, fighters, people have to like fight against the monster, but basically how every situation gets resolved is that Ultraman shows up. But but the neat thing is that there is one character who shows the only characterization in that show, because here's my problem. This was written in like the fucking like in the late 60s. So we have a team of 5. Yeah, a team of 5. Oh well, it's 6 technically. Oh wow, I just realized the 6th character like is gone for like the rest of the series. But anyways, I'll get to that. So this was written in like the fucking like early 70s, late 60s. You have 4 men, technically 1 boy, and then you have a woman. The woman is written like every typical like woman character any man would be writing in like the 60s. Like, oh, what do women love most in the world? Jewelry, shopping. Like, those are no other characteristics besides that. The thing that surprised me the most was that you're the main character who's able to turn into Ultraman is so stoic that he has no like actual characterization. It's like the only thing you could go off from him is that, oh, he is dutiful. Like, he does his job. Great. Fantastic. That's what we get, is that the main character does his job. But wonderful. But the one character that kind of like I was rooting for most of the time was the guy who I didn't even realize was essentially the head of their R&D team. And the weird thing is that this character in particular is really smart. He has a lot of moments where they just give him like a lot more character for out of nowhere, which is bizarre. And that's why like the entire time like I just get like whiplash, because it's like, oh, you're giving him a character, what, besides of him being like the comic relief. And there were a lot of moments where I was just like, I feel like this character should have been the guy who turns into Ultraman, because he has so much more character. But nothing's ever done about that. And what's sad is that, like, you know what, I was like, let me see where these guys are now, and like most of them are like dead, like super old, which made me really sad, because because they were like in their early like 30s when they were doing Ultraman. But yeah, a lot of the characters don't really have that much of a character. So, but like I mentioned, it's just like the practical effects and stuff like that I do appreciate. I do really like looking forward to like, oh, how do they do this little effect, or how they do this, or how do they make the monsters fight one another. And you know how a lot of like series, when it starts off, have a lot of moments of like kind of being what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you can kind of see that they're trying to do something, like they're trying to like see what they can meld into for the rest of the series. So like how, for example, like Dragon Ball, you know how like in Dragon Ball Z, out of nowhere they explain that, oh, Goku's a part of an alien race, like that kind of thing, where it's like, all right, we just had this whole other adventure before that never mentioned aliens, and now we're doing aliens now. That's what Ultraman is that Ultraman is like, Ultraman has this power. Okay, cool. How did he ever get that? No time to explain. We got to move on to the next episode. It's like, oh, okay, he could just do that now. So that happens a lot, where it's like they're coming up with ideas as they go on with the show. So there's a lot of instances of that, of just like, Ultraman can shoot water out of his fingers. Never explained. Ultraman can like, there's like a lot of bizarre moments in Ultraman as well, where it's like Ultraman just rips off pieces of like monsters, and it's just like, holy shit, like I was expecting like fake blood to be here in this fucking like kids show. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like you get to the ending of the series, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's anticlimactic, but it kind of is. Because it just ends. It just ends in a way.
Huh.
But funny enough, like I was reading on like the Ultraman wiki, is that like they had like a special episode like years later where like the cast came back because I think it was after the death of the guy who plays the captain. Because I think he died of like lung cancer. But the old cast reunites and they talk about like Ultraman and stuff like that. Like they talk about like in character, they talk about like where is Ultraman, this and that, and it's like an interesting idea, but I never really I never watched it, so I have no idea how that little episode goes. But it's interesting to see the concept of a really popular series and like how it starts essentially, because now Ultraman is like still going on. It's like the same thing as Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider is still going on after all these years. Um I think just the other thing I wanted to mention, you know how like I talk about that physical media is super important?
Yeah.
I had an issue with like the last disc of Ultraman. There was one episode where it skips. It sucks so much, and it's only in one episode. And I checked the disc to see like if there's any scratches. There's a scratch underneath the layer of the disc. So it's like, yeah, so there's like no fixing it.
How did you get a scratch? Like, you
I
seem like a person that doesn't do that type
I
of thing.
didn't. It was, I think it's just a printing error.
That's fun.
Yeah, so cuz like I left that thing like unopened for a good while. So when I started to actually watch the series, I took out the disc, I put it in, and like, okay, I'm on the final disc. I get to the episode, and then it just skips, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's literally a moment where, okay, so to basically explain this episode, this little monster thing, goes to speak to the scientist crew, and basically try to explain how like something's happening. So there's literally a moment where like two monsters are fighting, and then the thing skips and everybody's on like a rocket ship with the little monster thing, and then somebody's like, thanks little monster thing for telling us what to do, and I'm like, well, I don't know what happened. Nobody explained what happened. So I was like, all right, how the fuck do I find out what the fuck happens? So luckily enough, I believe on Tubi or Freevee, one of those fucking like free app things that you can watch shit, has Ultraman on it because it's free on streaming. So I watched the episode, and literally the point that it skips is the explanation as to what the fuck is going on in the episode. So it's like that fucking sucks. And I watched the rest of the disc, and there's no skipping whatsoever. So it's just that one single part. Excuse me, I had to burp a little bit. So the other thing I wanted to mention is this drives me wild about shit that's digital, is the disc of Ultraman, the steel cases that I bought come with like a little redemption thing for an app called Movie Spree.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I can use this and try to watch Ultraman through there. So I can see what the fuck happens in the episode. Okay. This is the shit that drives me nuts.
I have a feeling I know it's you.
Okay, so this fucking thing expired in 2022, and the app no longer exists since last year.
Yeah.
So I was like, this shit is useless.
I was gonna guess that the app went under. That's
yeah,
what I was gonna
the
think.
app,
But
the app
a double hit there is kind of sucky.
Yeah, the app went under, and I believe the company that does the distribution of the discs has their own website, so you can technically stream it through their website of Ultraman and like some other tokusatsu stuff. But that was the shit that was driving me insane. It was just like, fuck, man. Now I'm gonna have to buy another thing of Ultraman. But then it shot up a fear in me because I bought a bunch of the rest of the Ultraman steel cases, and I'm like, there's a chance that one of these other ones, like they're all wrapped, one of these other ones might have a printing error, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want that to happen, but I haven't got through. So yeah, I finished Ultraman. Ultraman was a pretty good time, but I didn't obviously binge through it because I was watching other shit or playing video games. Um, so I finished Ultraman and I have started Kamen Rider Black. When I want to talk about peak tokusatsu shit, Kamen Rider Black is pretty fun.
Tokusatsu.
Tokusatsu. Kamen Rider Black is really fun. I I realized that I kind of need a Kamen Rider back in my life. Cuz like I'm just having so much fun with it. Basically the whole premise is this I guess young man, I would say teenager cuz maybe he's like 17, 18. This teenager gets turned into a cyborg by this cult that believes that he and his brother must fight in order to become the next Century King, which is like essentially the ruler of the universe. But he's like, nah, I don't want to be that. So he escapes the cult and he's like, I will ensure to defend humanity from these people. So basically, every episode is him fighting the cult and whatever weird monster they decide to make. But the show has been pretty fun. It's enjoyable. I just obviously I have a bias towards Kamen Rider, so it's been pretty good. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the music in Kamen Rider Black is a lot of like synths because it was made around like the 80s. So there's a lot of synths in there and it feels like a John Carpenter track kind of in a lot of instances. Like it's really fucking good. Like I was so surprised because I was like, holy shit, like fucking this track to fight like a dumb goat monster. Like it's really good. Yeah, the music is really fucking good.
Stupid goat monster. You fucking stupid goat monster.
It's yeah, I mean, Kamen Rider has all those moments of just like it being really fun. And also the monster designs are actually really interesting because like they look really horrendous, but you have to also realize that like these are weird fucking amalgamations that this cult is making of like this leopard hyena thing, dog thing. Oh no, that's also another thing I wanted to mention. There's like a dog wolf hyena thing, and it's so funny because like it's a man in a rubber suit, but then he's able to transform into like a wolf. But it's just a German Shepherd because you can kind of see it. It's just a German Shepherd with like I think somebody put like a blanket over it with like leopard prints, so it looks so goofy, and you kind of see it clearly because this is like on Blu-ray, so these are like Blu-ray scans, so you can kind of see like the stuff clearly, or you can also see the strings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just fun shit like that. But Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider's fun. I can't really complain about that.
It sounds so stupid.
It is, but I enjoy it. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? All right, other movies that I watched. I watched a movie called Dragged Across the Concrete. I think I mentioned before. I talked about Brawl in Cell Block 99. It's by that same director. It's with this movie Dragged Across the Concrete is with Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn. It was good. It was good. It has kind of a nihilistic ending, but overall I enjoyed it. Then the other thing that I watched. Oh god, what the fuck? Unthinkable. Oh, Unthinkable. Okay, now I remember it.
Unthinkable, man.
Unthinkable is a movie with Samuel L. Jackson. Um he plays like an interrogator and he's trying to get like information out of this terrorist. I remember I saw this movie like probably like a couple years back, but I don't know why I decided to rewatch it, but I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's all right. Uh, so I watched Argyle. Do you remember this? This is a movie with Henry Cavill.
No.
So this is a movie by the director that did Kingsman.
Okay.
I liked it. up until the end. I don't know if I want to give spoilers.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it. So if
Okay,
you're worried about me, then I should be fine.
I guess spoilers. I enjoyed this movie because like it was kind of like a spy mystery comedy thing, and it was really fun. And I was like, oh, I can see why people like the Kingsman movies because like they're probably like fun action movies and stuff like that. And the reason why I say I enjoyed it up until the end is because it turns out this is a Kingsman movie. I've never seen the Kingsman movies. So literally at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, by the way, we're a Kingsman movie. So I was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck is happening now. Uh, but still, it's an enjoyable time. I would assume people who watch Kingsman would probably enjoy this a lot more than I did. But yeah. And also I like Sam Rockwell. So he's enjoyable. Anyways, speaking of enjoyable, I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I liked it when Jackie Chan was like, "Who wants pizza?" I clapped. And I also clapped when Ice Cube said, what the fuck did he say? I'm Superfly. Yeah.
Ice Cube was in it.
Yeah, he plays Superfly.
Okay.
It's good. No, it's like who else is in it? There's a lot of voices in there. There's fucking John Cena as I think he's Rocksteady, the Rhino. Seth Rogen is Bebop.
I knew Seth Rogen. Okay. I do remember this now.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the like ad, and Seth and Ice Cube was like, boo, 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 and then Seth Rogen was like,
yeah. He did do that.
Oh man, am I wrong? Is that not who he is?
This is a movie that's obviously very garnered to kids, but I still enjoyed it. It was still a fun time. I do like. It's weird because like the art style is like somewhat like weird because like everything is like all abstract and like nothing is really like symmetrical. So it has like this playful art style that's going with, but it's still a fun movie. I really liked it. They have an ending singer, which is super obvious if you know anything about the mutant turtles that are teenaged and ninjas. But yeah, I would recommend it. It's good. I enjoyed it.
You would recommend the Teenage Mutant Turtle Mans?
I would, yes.
Okay.
After that, I decided to watch a couple more stuff. Do you know a movie called The Zone of Interest?
The Zone of Interest. Nope.
Okay. I remember seeing a trailer for it. I didn't watch the entire trailer, but this movie was getting a lot of talk, I think, after the Oscars because the director was talking about the whole thing with that's happening over in Israel, and a lot of people were kind of up in arms against him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he took the side of Israel, obviously. So I was like, okay, let me figure out what this movie is about. I was not expecting it to be what it was. Essentially, the whole thing is it revolves around a German family in 1930s, I want to say. And it's based off an actual officer of the SS, or this actual Nazi officer that was basically the overseer of Auschwitz. And I never knew that basically all these high commanding officers were building houses like around the walls of Auschwitz. So you see him basically like live in his like little house that his wife was like, "Oh yeah, I designed this house and like I wanted it to give off a more homely feel." All saying this while there's a huge ass wall and you can kind of see on the other side of like these buildings and hear things that are happening in the prison camp. The And it's like this bizarre thing of just like there's that bit of horror of like what you know of like what was happening in Auschwitz. That's
Mhm.
like these people are like treating themselves as like the rulers of this area, and it's one of these things where it's like you kind of have to watch it to understand what I'm talking about. But the entire time I was haunted in a sense, because you have the German lady, the German wife being like, "Oh yeah, I want my house this way and that way. I basically designed my garden and like this whole paradise that she essentially built for herself, while on the other side of the wall is literally people dying and persecuted, and it's just like this awful thing. And yeah, it's just like this bizarre feeling that you kind of have, that I would say it's a watching experience. But yeah, I liked it. Zone of interest.
I just looked up. It looks really good.
Yeah, it is. It's one of these things where it's like I was not anticipating of like what it was, but it is interesting of like if you know your history of obviously that time period of what was happening. But I did not know that. I did not know that people were building houses like at the wall of Auschwitz. So it's like the fuck? And they were having some of the prisoners come into their like houses as like servants and stuff like that. And it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Uh and yeah, no, that's reality is stranger than fiction. Um so yeah, after that I decided to watch a movie by one of my favorite Korean directors, Chan Wook Park. His latest movie called Decision to Leave. How do I describe this movie? It is basically in the mood for love with, oh god, Mindhunter.
I love Mindhunter.
It's basically that. It's a romance mystery thriller.
All right, real quick. Say the name of that thing again.
The Decision to Leave, or Decision to Leave. So I've
Movie?
been, you haven't?
That was a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
All right.
So the reason why I'm like looking for more Chan Wook Park stuff is because he's doing an HBO series, I think in June or July, something like that. It's supposed to premiere at that point. But anyways, I forgot he came out with a movie like a year or two back, called Decision to Leave. And I started watching this movie, and I kind of stopped like maybe 15 minutes into it because I was just like, things are kind of like moving a little weird. Up until like some of the editing and like camera choices that was happening, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's doing the Chan Wook Park stuff of like him doing transitions and like really interesting stuff with the camera, and I'm like, okay, it's got me in. Um, Basically the whole premise is this detective is trying to figure out whether or not this man who's a hiker, whether his death was a murder or an accident. So he interacts with the hiker's wife, who is a Chinese immigrant, and basically a relationship starts to bloom from that. So the whole thing throughout the course of the movie is him trying to figure out whether or not she's guilty of what's happening, or like what happened, I should say. So it's a kind of like a cat and mouse game. Up until a point where like it does get solved, and then it just kind of goes in a very interesting direction of like where is this going. But if you know the movie In the Mood for Love, you kind of get that relationship from these two people, where it's like they're close, they're flirting, they might touch, but they never go further than that. Like it's more of a spiritual like connection. Regardless, how this movie ends is very Chan Wook Parkish, and I'm like, all right, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, But yeah, I would recommend Decision to Leave. It's a really really good movie.
So you said it feels like Mindhunter. What do you mean by that?
So you know how in Mindhunter they have to basically like analyze like people that they interview and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially that as well. It's like it's kind of like a procedural in that sense of like the detective is trying to analyze this woman that he's talking with to see whether or not she has the capabilities of murdering someone.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it kind of goes into like a whole cat and mouse thing of like, maybe she got the one up on me, but I think I might have the one up on her. Oh, when I interviewed her, she was very bizarre in how she interacted with certain things. So it's like that kind of whole ordeal. But
So, question:
yes,
um, is there Subway Surfers and Pizza Rat to keep me amused in between, or
unfortunately, no.
uh,
Yes, unfortunately, no.
I don't know if
None
I'm
of
gonna
that.
watch it, man.
All I can say is the lady who plays the wife character, the lady that the detective falls in love with. Oh my god, that woman is gorgeous. That's all I can say. Like holy shit, because I was like, how old is this lady? What? And it's oh my god, I was like, holy shit, god damn, that lady's gorgeous.
Oh
Anyways,
shit! I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta run to the door.
oh okay, I thought you were gonna check out the lady for 1 second.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
That's my bad.
It's okay. Are you gonna watch Decision to Leave? Do you want to
Probably.
watch Old Boy?
What was the hot lady's name?
Shit, I forgot her actual name. Hold on.
Hotlady.com.
Just put
Oh,
down
this is the wrong one. Oh, no,
just put
shit. What's
down
up?
Decision to Leave movie, and then I believe she might be the second like
Lee Jung Hyun
uh
or Tang Wei?
Tang Wei.
Her?
Yeah.
Eh, she's like mid.
Wow. Okay.
She's
Sorry,
like,
Mr. Adonis.
well, who's that?
Yeah, that's right. You dumb
I don't
bitch.
know who that is. Who is that?
You dumb bitch. Anyways.
What am I missing?
Anyways.
No, thanks, man.
Anyways.
Not even gonna tell me what I'm missing.
No, I won't. Because you can't. You can't. Not with your eyes. Um.
Fucking stupid.
Anyways, the last thing that I watched, I finished yesterday, was a Netflix show called Bodies. So this is a show that I've been talking about that like it tries to do a lot more with its story while not giving any characters to really give a shit about. Um, and the premise is interesting, but you can kind of tell what it's gonna do, like even in the first episode. Basically the premise is a body keeps appearing in the same alleyway in three different time periods, and three different detectives have to figure out what the fuck is happening. Yeah. And I finished it. And I was like, yeah, okay. that's that was my overall like gist of it. It's like, yeah, it's okay. It's weird too,
I
because
mean,
like go ahead.
like, that's it. There's like no more to it. Literally just that.
That detectives try to find out what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, it gets more in depth, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it does. No, it does explain it.
You said you liked it, right?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Unless you want me to go into spoilers, I could talk about spoilers.
How new is the movie?
Huh?
How new is the movie?
Oh, it's a TV series, Bodies.
Oh, sorry.
It's like 8 episodes.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, just go into it.
I guess spoilers. I guess it's obviously time travel. Um,
Yeah.
you can kind of guess it. The neat aspect of it is that so here's the thing about time travel. I'm interested to see what some people do with writing time travel fiction of just like, all right, how do I explain this particular story's like thing of time travel, like its rules essentially. The only thing is that obviously a lot of shows are not going to reach the level of Dark, because Dark was like phenomenal with its time travel shit. but there's a lot of things within bodies where it just feels kind of meh when it comes to its time travel stuff. Because the thing that kind of threw me in for a loop was whenever the body would show up in like its time periods, or whenever somebody would travel through time, they would end up with markings on their wrists, and it's never explained as to why those markings are there, but they just show up like tattoos out of nowhere. Um, and the other thing is the main bad guy, because basically the premise kind of gets uh it gets put into a whole thing of like stopping a doomsday cult, which is like, okay, that seems neat, but then it kind of wobbles towards the end of like what it's trying to do and like how to stop the leader of the doomsday cult. um and it gets really dumb at a point, because there's a whole thing in that show where characters are like, oh, they say this saying called well, not called, but they say, know you are loved. And it's like, oh, that's a weird saying. Why would they say something like that? And obviously you kind of figure out that like the leader of the doomsday cult was a foster kid. Nobody really cared for him, so he kind of has to remind himself that like he is loved, and that's why he says, know you are loved. um Funny enough, they do this thing where they have the younger version of him and then older version of him, and the older version of him is the guy who plays Al Capone in uh Boardwalk Empire. That guy, because he's British, because this show is British, so it's so funny because like seeing that guy not do a New York accent or a New Jersey accent because he's actually British, and it's just like, yeah, this just feels weird.
Who is it?
You've seen this guy before in a lot of things. I forget the actor's name. Hold on. Look for the actor Stephen Graham. It's Stephen Graham, like the cracker. Did you find him? Did you do it?
He does not look familiar.
Oh, he doesn't look familiar. He's been in like a lot of stuff, but like he usually does like a New York accent, which is like the crazy part because the dude is British. I'm pretty sure he's British.
He's in Peaky Blinders. Oh,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
fucking Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
He's in Greyhound?
I guess so.
That was a good movie.
He's a character actor because he plays so many characters with a New York accent. He's from Brooklyn. Anyways. Yeah, so it does this thing where basically this kid is the leader of the Doomsday cult, and his whole plan is to set off a bomb, eventually become the leader of the world, and then realizes that, okay, in order for this whole loop to happen, is basically send himself back in time to where he can start his doomsday cult in order for them to lead the younger version of himself into basically him causing the explosion that destroys humanity. So it's like this whole like heady thing, but the resolve to what happens is kind of goofy, and it's just like, all right. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to mention, that like this is kind of a thing that kind of happens in like time travel stuff, is the possibility of you being your own grandfather. Like, you ever heard of this concept when it comes to time travel?
Yeah, I feel like they said something about that in the Footloose movie where they time travel.
The Footloose movie?
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Oh, Footloose movie. What the fuck?
The reason like I couldn't think of the name, so I was like, they dance, and then it's like in the 80s,
And then Footloose. I was like, I don't know. I never watched Footloose. But yeah, there's that whole concept of like time travel, that like you basically become your own grandfather if you tried to like, I don't know, meet anybody. So that's basically what happens, is that like he's his own great grandfather, which is like the goofy shit. But yeah, it was okay. That's all I can say. It was okay. End of spoilers, I guess. But the other thing, I just started watching an anime on Netflix called Delicious in Dungeon. It's good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. It's really fun. I would recommend you watching it if you like just a good old time. That's it. That's it for stuff that I watched.
What's the premise of it?
Delicious in Dungeon. Basically it's a fantasy setting. This group of adventurers are descending down a dungeon. Basically this main character is trying to save his sister because she got eaten by a dragon. The one thing is that the dragon is digesting her slowly, so he's trying to get to the bottom to find this dragon. But on the other hand, he has his party and he's trying not to, they're essentially broke, so they can't buy food. So his idea is like, oh, there's wildlife in the dungeon, why don't we just eat the stuff in the dungeon? And yeah, basically each episode is them like fighting a dungeon monster and like cooking it up to something edible. It's fun. It's a fun little premise. Apparently it goes in a really dark direction, but I've yet to get there.
It doesn't sound bad.
No, it's pretty good. I think the reason why is that like I'm kind of left with a void with after watching the show Made in Abyss, where that kind of has the same premise as well, where it's like this group of adventurers diving down into like the unknown world, and yeah, just witnessing the weird shit that's going on down below. But yeah, Delicious in Dungeon, it's good. I recommend it. As for video games, bro, this month for video games has been rough for the chonch. So what did I play? What did I play? I played some
Pokemon Go?
I did not play Pokemon Go to the polls.
You really play some of the worst games if you're not playing Destiny, League of Legends, or Pokemon Go. I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, I'm playing shitty games like Final Fantasy or Like a Dragon or Dead Space.
More like Final Fantasy.
Got him. Anyways, so on stream, obviously, I beat Like a Dragon Gaiden. I have not started Infinite Wealth yet, but Like a Dragon Gaiden has been pretty fun. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's one of those games that obviously it's just like if you've been with Kiryu for the entire series, it's gonna hit you hard, bro. The last stream, I was crying because it's just like it's so emotional. But like I said, I haven't gotten to Infinite Wealth yet because like apparently there's also some stuff that gets emotional, but we'll get there when we get there. Which kind of led into the other thing that I played and playing on stream. I did Final Fantasy VII Intermission, which is the Yuffie DLC, and that was a good time. Such a good time that I got all the trophies for Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I completed the game on hard mode. I got all the trophies for Intermission. I got all the trophies for the main story. And that was a fun time. Hard mode is pretty tough, obviously. And then for Yuffie stuff, it is also pretty tough. But the VR fights, where you fight like against secret bosses, that shit was like driving me insane. But I got through it. I finished it. And it was a good time. So now I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I'll get to. But for stuff that I completed, I for some reason decided, you know what? Let's go back to 1. I played and completed and got all the trophies for Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 1 is an interesting game because it is old, but I enjoyed it. And I played the Pixel Perfect or Pixel Perfect remastered shit, the one that came out recently, where it's like a HD version of like all 6 games. And yeah, Final Fantasy 1 is good. It's not that long. You can like beat it with like in a day, and I just had a good time. That final boss was like pretty cool because I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I did it. And yeah, getting all the trophies wasn't that difficult either. You know, to be fair, you're gonna have to look at a guide and stuff, but it's not too crazy. Yeah, that was a good time. I enjoyed it. Pretty much the stuff that I've been playing and finished were really fun times. Another one, for example, is the Saboteur. Do you know anything about the Saboteur?
No.
So the Saboteur was a 360 PS3 open adventure game by Pandemic Software. They were a sub branch of LucasArts. But basically the Saboteur is you are you're an Irish saboteur in Paris, and you're basically there to stop Nazis. And the cool thing about that game is the color dynamic stuff that it does. So places that are heavily occupied by Nazis have no color, so it's just black and white. And then once you liberate those areas, color comes back. So it does like this cool dynamic thing of like color is restored, and it's like, okay, that's cool. But overall, the Saboteur was pretty fun. I enjoyed it because the open world stuff and like blowing up Nazi tanks and buildings and stuff like that was
Nazis.
getting rid of the Nazis. Was fun. Getting rid of the bad guys. It's a shame because like that game could use a sequel, because even then at the end of the game the main character's like, it's not over yet, and it's like, yeah, this shit never getting a sequel unless Disney decides to like, oh yeah, let's use LucasArts for something.
Disney's like, Papa Disney say no.
No, we got to make our card game. What is it called?
Lorcana.
There you go. That's just the other thing I wanted to mention. I had a coworker back when I worked at the post office that played the Dragon Ball card game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. He said he liked it. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I like Dragon Ball. My brother was like, why don't you want to buy the Dragon Ball ones? And I'm like, 'cause I don't want to play the Dragon Ball card game, bro.
I just like the Dragon Ball characters. I don't want to play the card game.
Yeah, I just like,
I like it when Frieza goes, haha, monkeys.
monkey.
And he says it with the hard M.
Jesus Christ. Monkeys.
So yeah, the Saboteur was really good. I also did a hard mode replay of Dead Space 2022, right? That game came out in 2022?
Yeah.
Or 2023.
Or 2019.
No, 2023, excuse me.
It did not come out in 2023.
Yeah, the Dead Space remake.
I have to look it up now because I think you're a fucking false flagger.
Anyways, so I played that a new game plus. I did a plasma cutter run only, and that was fun.
You're right, and I hate you.
Yeah, that's right, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the little secret ending, and yeah, it's a little. It's not anything that I would have to be like, oh man, I should have streamed this, I should have recorded this. No, it's like, yeah, it's a little Easter egg kind of thing. Yeah, Dead Space is good. It just sucks that the optimization for that game on PC is like really wanky. Yeah, wanky panky.
What the fuck are you
Um,
talking about?
it's kind of jank, the optimization for Dead Space remake. It's like there's a lot of like stuttering, and a lot of performance hitching. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but still, I enjoyed it. I like what Dead Space remake was doing, and yeah, fun time. Eventually I will do an impossible mode run, but I'll get there when I get there. And yeah, for some reason, I've been so invested into the Evil Within. I don't know why. So I've been doing multiple runs of Evil Within on my own time, and today I decided I'm just gonna play Akumu mode on stream. Up until OBS decided to crash, and then my hard drive was like, "Oh, your recording hard drive is full. Got to clear that shit out." And then my computer is wigging out because the Evil Within is also not that well optimized for PC. So there's a bunch of shit that was happening. But yeah, I'm doing a Kumu mode on.
Fuck is a Kumu mode?
Oh, so okay, so let me explain. Let me get into. Here's my TED talk for the Evil Within. So when you beat the main game, you have an option afterwards, a difficulty option called Akumu mode. Akumu mode is essentially one hit kill for you. Um, and some levels are basically the whole experience is a bit harder because enemies' vision cones are a lot more extended. Stronger enemies from later chapters appear in early chapters, and yeah, basically, it's one hit kill. So if an enemy just slaps you, you're dead. So that is essentially Akumu mode, and from what I understand is that Akumu mode can be pretty tough, but not to the point of like not doable, because it is doable. Uh, and the reason why I'm going so into this is because obviously I've gotten most of the achievements for the Evil Within. It's just I'm missing Akumu mode achievement and beating the game on nightmare difficulty, but you get that unlocked if you beat Akumu mode. So essentially, if you get to the highest difficulty and do that, you unlock the other difficulty trophies.
Yeah, that's usually how they do it.
Yeah. So Akumu mode is basically the last thing I got to do. And yeah, even then, like going back and revisiting The Evil Within, it is a very flawed game. Um, it has a lot of issues, especially with its story. And it really falters at the end. Like it just like barely passes through the finish line. But it's not bad. Even with Akumu mode, the gameplay itself is kind of it's okay. Like it's fun. It's one of those experiences where it's like if you wanted Resident Evil 4 again, that was basically the substitute. The Evil Within was just a reskin of Resident Evil 4 but with some other shit around it because obviously Bethesda wanted Shinji Mikami to make Resident Evil 4 again, even though hilariously enough, he was like, I don't want to do Resident Evil 4 again. But they kind of forced their hand on him, so he couldn't really say no. But even then, like the Evil Within 2 is a good game as well. So I wanted to mention as well, Evil Within has DLC for one of the side characters. Her DLC is interesting because I did everything in that DLC, including her version of Akumu mode, which is Kurayami, I believe. So that mode is interesting. It's not one hit kill. It is everything is dark, and the only thing you can see is what you have your flashlight on. So you're basically given one source of light. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So you can't see anything else around you, but you can only see what you're flashing with your flashlight. It is a little goofy when you are like trying to go through the game's cutscenes because you can't see shit. So there was just moments of like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. You can't see anything. But overall, it was a really cool mode because it's just like, yeah, just kind of get through the level in the dark. Yeah, it was fun. Kuriyami was fun, and then it has another DLC called The Executioner, where it's basically if you ever played the newer Resident Evils, the mercenary mode in those games, where it's like basically you're timed and you got to kill enemies and stuff like that, and get a good time on killing enemies. That's what essentially that Executioner mode is. It's mercenaries.
Gotcha.
And you're playing like a boss character, and you can upgrade him and stuff like that, and like take care of enemies. The only thing that was like really intense was there was a secret boss that you do where you fight both the main character and another detective character, and they're like super OP, but I got it, and yeah, that shit was really tough. But yeah, I'm just trying to get all the trophies for the Evil Within.
Brokies?
the gropies.
The
The
Brokies.
brokies. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention, I'm playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. God damn, man. Oh man. Holy shit. I'm glad that I have the knowledge that I have for Final Fantasy VII, cuz like all this shit that's happening is just crazy and bizarre, and I'm like, all right, I'm fully invested into this story, which by the way, the minigame Queen's Blood is fan fucking tastic. It's a card game.
My brother hated it.
For
So I have one brother that really enjoys all Final Fantasies and everything,
uh
and then my other brother's like iffy on it.
hmm
And he said that it was really annoying. I think he
Why?
was like,
Because
I
of
don't.
the
He doesn't like playing mini games within games.
oh well, I would assume he does not
Listen,
like
I
the.
think
I'm assuming he doesn't like the Yakuza series.
he doesn't play games very much.
Oh, okay.
So like,
Is this
this
the
is
same
like
brother
his
that hates monologues?
no
Okay, so different
two different
brother.
people.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
Subway
just
Surfers?
Subway Surfers.
Subway Surfers. Maybe you should put Subway Surfers when he's playing mini games.
Yeah, for him, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would work actually.
See?
But the other
There you
one, the other one,
go.
I agree with the monologue thing. Honestly, like it's. I'm not saying like don't watch anything with monologues, but like that shit was annoying the second time around, bro. I definitely watched it the first time, maybe skipped it. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but for sure, like they could do better. Just do better. Do better at holding my attention.
I hope you never have a moment where you have to walk with your ghost wife.
Me
Then
too, bro. I hope I never have to walk with a ghost wife, because I'll tell that bitch to get the fuck away from me.
Can
Go
we
do ghost things,
speed
bitch.
things up,
Listen
please?
here, whore wife.
Wow. For your ghost wife? God damn.
Whore ghost wife.
But yeah, I really like Queen's Blood. I obviously know that there are more mini games coming up, and I can't wait to see them because
How could you
obviously,
know? How could you even know?
because it's fucking everywhere online.
This guy cheats, bro. He fucking
No,
Google hacked the fucking game.
don't say that because I actually had to look up guides for Final Fantasy VII Remake when I was like trying to do the boss like secret boss stuff. Like that shit was in fucking insane. But anyways,
That's fair.
um, but anyway, I really like Queen's Blood. I don't know if you've seen any gameplay for it, for remake or rebirth, I should say. But it's a very interesting concept of a card game. I would recommend you like checking out like I guess maybe the first episode that I did, um, of the game.
Watch a video?
Watch me play games.
I
Yeah,
have
that's
to
right.
listen to his monologue?
Monologues.
Is there rat pizza above you?
Unfortunately, no. But there are neat cards. Do it for the cards. Do it. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been pretty interesting, and I'm really curious as to see where the story goes. Um, because it is doing obviously the same stuff from the original game, but there's some little things that it's happening that it's like, oh, that wasn't there. I think the funniest thing is Tifa. Oh, I can't take credit for this because Ono said it, that Tifa is a gatekeeping gaslighting girl boss. Like that's amazing. And it's kind of true because there's a cutscene in the game where like Tifa's like, Cloud, I don't remember any of that shit you just said. And Cloud is like, what are you talking about, Tifa? That was 5 years ago. And Tifa's like, 5 years? And Cloud starts getting a headache. And she's like, I don't remember that. And Cloud's like, oh. And Cloud's like, what do you mean? Tifa's like, I'm not going to get into it. It's like, what the fuck, woman?
What the
Um,
woman fuck?
Goddamn, Tifa Lockhart. But yeah, overall, it's been pretty good. The music is it's fucking fantastic. That music,
It is good.
it's really good. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been an interesting time, and like I said, if you have the knowledge of the other games, it really really helps. I think probably when I finish this game, after I probably stream Infinite Wealth, I will probably do a stream of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. But
Um, I did watch my brother play 7 a little bit while I was there, and like
Rebirth.
game's fucking beautiful, man.
Oh my god, it is. Here's the thing: when I went back to play Remake, I was like, God damn, this was a PS4 game, and I'm like, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, Rebirth is having a bit of issues depending which setting you're choosing, because like there's performance mode sharp, and then graphics mode. But overall, the game still looks really pretty, especially what it's trying to do of having like a big world. Um, but it has. I think the one minor thing is that it has the open world issue, where it's like, oh, go to this destination and you unlock this little thing, or go to this destination and unlock the tower that like opens up the map, and it's like, yeah, it's gonna be there forever for every single open world game. But it's not anything I would say that I dislike. It's just like yeah, it's there. But overall, like Queen's Blood is the shit. Queen's Blood is good. The other thing I wanted to mention is the animations for a lot of the synergy moves where you're doing with your party members is the coolest shit ever. It's so fucking cool. Where like Cloud and Tifa are like fucking doing sick ass moves with the sword, or where Aerith basically summons like a bubble around the enemy and Tifa's in there, and essentially you're trapped with Tifa and Tifa's like fucking darting all over the place. Like that shit is, it looks so fucking cool. Yeah, that game's awesome. That game's really cool, and I'm anticipating on like continuing with the story. Especially at the fact that like when the game started, you're at Nebel, and Sephiroth is like, "Huh, Cloud, I guess it's my turn to do some cool shit," and then you play a Sephiroth, and I'm like, "Oh my god, you're doing Sephiroth moves!" Yeah, it was really cool. Rebirth is really interesting, and I think this is also like kind of kicking me into like playing the other Final Fantasy games, because I do really want to play like Final Fantasy 9 and like 8, even 6, because I hear really good things about Final Fantasy 6, but we'll see. I was intending on like going through, the Pixel Perfect collection. Since I already beat 1, I was planning on doing 2 and then 3 and then, so on and so forth. But we'll see. We'll see when I get there. Um, and the last thing I wanted to mention is I'm still reading the book The Sympathizer, because I mentioned that Chan Wook Park is doing an HBO series. So I'm reading the book The Sympathizer, and it's really good. It hits a lot of things about identity, and specifically about allegiances and just who you are as a person and what defines you, especially in an era of where shit did not go well for the US. But overall, I'm really liking the book. There's a weird moment where the main character talks about like masturbating, but that's besides the point.
Well, it's called the sympathizer,
He does simp. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into the details, unless they show that on HBO. But it is very good. There was a particular line that I really liked where it's like the main character. So the main character in The Sympathizer is nameless. He's just called the captain because that's what his rank was in the military.
Yeah.
But they kind of go into his backstory a lot of like when he grew up in Vietnam and with his mother. Essentially, the captain is he's mixed. So he's half Vietnamese, and I believe he's half European because his father was a priest, but he never really had a relationship with his father. So he grew up with his mother. And the thing is that he explained in his childhood that like the family on his mother's side basically resented him. They viewed him as like some kind of monstrosity. So him and his mother basically relied on each other, even at a young age. So she would ensure that he grew up well enough, or tried to get food from his father or like support from his father, but his father never really interacted with him in his life. So there's a particular chapter where he kind of gets movie deal, kind of, where he is a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a source of like cultural happenings and stuff like that. I forget the term. There's a specific term for people like that in the movie industry when they're trying to get like the right setting for a thing, because the movie is supposed to be a Vietnam War movie, and basically he is the, oh my god, I'm forgetting the term. He's a cultural advisor. There we go. Jesus. Uh and there's a line where he talks about how the scene that they're in is like a little Vietnamese village, but it's all placed in the Philippines. So he talks about how like he had the idea of the village itself, like the huts, or like the houses, uh the graveyard and this and that. And one particular like sentence that is spoken is that um he talks about his mother's grave, and that she wasn't given like the proper burial. But in the movie set, he decides to give her a gravestone and make it a lot more extravagant, make it look like a really nice gravestone. And he talks about how that in how he views his gravestone is that his mother can be viewed as not an extra, but something more uh by well, he I'm fucking this up. I'm fucking this line up. But hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because it was a line where I was just like, God damn. Like, you really feel for this guy, even though the situation that he's in is kind of fucked, because especially in like previous chapters, he does something really fucked up. Um Hold on, let me find this line. I can find it. Hold on. Here we go. At least in the cinematic life, she would have a resting place fit for a mandarin's wife, an ersatz, or perhaps fitting grave for a woman who was never more than an extra to anyone but me. And I was like, God damn, because it's like you get a lot from that character, specifically about that line of just like, this dude is in a really really bad situation. Uh, but I don't want to go further from there, because obviously I'm still reading the book. But it's a very good story, especially if like something that you kind of want to get somebody else's side of their identity. But even though it is fictional, it is very well written, and there's a very shocking scene that happens that is it. I don't know how he pulled it off, the author of the book, but it feels graphic explaining it. Like, it's weird. Like, you can imagine it like so vividly. And it's just like, damn, that's some graphic shit. But yeah, it's good. It's good. The Sympathizer. I will continue reading. Hopefully I'll finish it. And then maybe I'll start Dune. All right, that's it. That's all Chunch did with his
Dude.
That's what Chunch did with his month. My whole ass month. All right, you want to get through the news, or do you want to just take a little break?
Take a break.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I forgot to mention one more thing. I started watching Monk.
How's that been going?
Not bad. I like Monk. Monk is enjoyable. It's all right.
I think it's a good show.
Thoughts on Sharona?
The woman?
Yeah.
I think she's attractive.
Okay. God, thank you, God, that I'm not alone.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, thank God I'm not alone. I don't know why.
But like, she's the one with the weird nose, right?
Sure.
She almost got like an Owen Wilson nose. It's like all
Does
jank.
she? Oh, I have no idea.
Let me look it up.
She's got an Owen Wilson nose. Damn, man. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? No, she doesn't. I don't know what I'm thinking. Why do I think she has a fucked up nose? She just has like a larger nose than normal, it feels like.
Yeah. But I think she's still pretty.
I didn't say, look, did that stop me from saying that? No.
No.
I just said that her nose is kind of janky.
I mean, when you're implying fucked up nose, you're implying something's wrong.
Here you go.
Wow. So much hate for Sharona.
Oh my god, the image didn't come up. It's just a link. What the fuck?
Anyways, Monk as a show is actually pretty fun. I like it. I do like the fact that every episode is like, Monk, you're crazy. How do you know that? And then at the end of the episode, it's like, wow, Monk, I can't believe you knew that. And it's like, all right.
It really is every episode. There's no way. What do you? No, this guy.
No,
pays for our salary.
It drives me insane when the fucking captain is like that every fucking episode. Monk, why are you doing this? Why are you so crazy? And it makes me realize that, like, when did the show come out? Like 2009, I think, like mid 2000s, whatever. This show was not like, it was not privy to people who have like mental things going on with them. Like, there was an episode I watched recently where a comedian was just making fun of Monk for his things, and it's like, oh, this really was an era when nobody gave a shit of just
Monk,
like,
what are you, stupid?
Yeah, basically everybody was just like, so you pack your socks in Ziploc bags? I've never heard of this. What are you, a fucking moron? And it's like,
what are you, retarded? And then you were like, oh, it's 2024. We can't say that.
And then I'm like, when did the show come out? Oh, 2006. Okay, that makes sense.
2002, bitch.
Yeah, 2002. There we go. Yeah, that makes more sense. But yeah, they essentially treat Monk like he is a fucking freak, even though like now we've learned that like some people have things in their heads that have been diagnosed, which is the goofy shit. But anyways, Sharona. Can't believe they made that lady a mom. But anyways.
Do you see the picture of her now?
I don't.
All right, it's in the Discord. Look at that and look how big that nose is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe you hate this lady.
That's just a large woman nose.
There's nothing wrong with that nose.
It's big. It's definitely like...
He's calling her ugly. I can't believe this, even though we just talked about her being a very pretty lady.
Mine is a very large Italian man nose.
I have a bulbous nose.
Yeah, mine flares out, man.
Anyways, Monk.
Okay.
I just watched it for Sharona.
The next one's hot too. The next girl comes in.
Oh no, there's another girl. You know what's
multiple. There's multiple girls.
It's funny too, because like the more I think about it, it's like I remember like seeing Monk on whatever fucking channel it was on, but I always remember that like there was always a commercial for Monk being like guest starring John Hamm, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I don't know what the show's about. But I think it was the same thing for like Psych as well. Psych also had that thing where it was like guest starring John Lovitz, and it's like, okay.
USA was really big on that. That was that channel's thing.
Oh yeah, guest starring. Yeah, because it would always be like somebody from another like show on USA.
And it was like guest starring, but like
guest starring Al Pacino.
John Cena was in Psych like 6 times. You know?
Was he?
He's the brother of one of the detectives.
I know why, because either SmackDown or Raw was on USA. Yeah, it was like something like that.
That's cool.
Guest starring Marty Scorsese.
No.
On this episode of Monk.
Marvel. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Monk. Yeah, Monk is good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not really like binging it. I'm just like, oh, I'll watch an episode. More of that.
I might have to go back and watch it now because we could talk about it then.
That's the thing, is that I'm so confused about like The movie, how you explained the movie of like him
It's
trying
bad.
to shoot himself in the head.
No, he didn't try shooting himself in the head.
Okay. He tried
Did he?
unmonking himself. I don't remember.
He tried unlooking himself.
I don't know. And Sharona was like, "Oh, Mr. Monk," and yeah.
Monk, don't monk yourself too hard, bro.
Oh yeah, I think that's also the other thing is that like it's giving me like the same feeling as like the X-Files whenever Scully would tell Mulder that like no Mulder it can't be fucking aliens, and it's like bitch, every episode it's been fucking aliens. It's that feeling where like the person who's been with you the entire time is like, it can't be that, you're crazy.
It's
No,
like gaslighting at its finest.
no Monk, you're good at solving cases. No, you're not. You dumb bitch. You dumb crazy bitch. And it's like Monk's like, oh, I'll figure this out through my powers of OCD. It's like, all right, cool, Monk. Oh, that's also the other thing. I wanted to mention that pilot episode is really bizarre because of the fact that like they only used the Randy Newman song like once. Do you remember the original opening for Monk
Uh-huh.
where it was like something in the jungle like that shit? And I was like, why does that voice sound familiar? I'm like, oh, it's fucking Randy Newman. Do you know who Randy Newman is?
I feel like he did like a bunch of songs for Toy Story or something.
You got a friend
Yeah.
in me. Yeah, that's Randy Newman. But then like afterwards, no, that song never comes back. I don't know if it's like a Netflix specific thing, but like
Sounds like a Netflix thing.
I have no idea because like it just never
Hold
comes
on.
back.
What is the opening then on Netflix?
It is like it's one of like the themes to like the ending or something like that.
Yeah, I'm opening this now because I've gotta see. Sorry, I have
Okay,
to know now.
it's fine.
It's on Netflix
Yeah,
because
it's
I
on
watched it on the other one.
Hulu.
You've got a monk in me now. Amazon.
Something to
You
the cook
got a monk in
in
me.
me.
I'm watching episode 5. Open this bitch. Where's the monk opening?
Should be a little bit after the little opening sequence. Guest starring.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
You know, yeah.
I don't know. Did they change that?
I have no. I don't know.
I don't know. Now I gotta watch the opening for the first one real quick.
So yeah, literally
You
the
got a friend.
friend in me.
If it's
I was like, that voice sounds so distinct. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Oh, it's Randy Newman. Concrete, something jungle.
Is what I do? It's oh no wait. I was gonna say it's amazing. Don't go out there.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there. Yeah,
I'll confidently say this right now, and I doubt anyone will come after me. Because I'm not a come afterable guy. I come first always. So, anyways, I'm almost positive when I used to watch it on TV, it had that song on all the episodes.
the Randy Newman song.
Yeah, I'm almost positive because I remember watching it with my mom a ton. So I'm assuming it did. I'll ask her another day, and I'll get back to you on here eventually.
In a month.
Press the fuck out, yeah, I remember it playing on that, so
okay. Oh, also another thing, stereotypes. Stereotypes is a really big thing in Monk.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of stereotypes, specifically towards Latinos and Hispanics.
Wow, you would really point that out. No, I'm just joking. I'm sorry.
I'm pointing that out. Because like there's instances where somebody who speaks English talks to the maid in like bad Spanish, but even though the maid has clearly spoke in English to that person before. because like one lady was like, "Rapido necesito puerta openo," and it's like,
she's like, "Yep, got it."
yeah. Basically, that's just what happens. It's like, okay, I'll open the door. All right, cool. But yeah, some of the mysteries of Monk have been pretty all right. I'm only on like episode 11, I want to say. Trying to think which one has been the most interesting one thus far. I have to say the hotel one, because that's the one that comes to mind. Where going back to the maids, how that was a whole conspiracy thing. But anyways, Monk. All right, the news. Let's get through this whole month of news. Are you ready for this? We're gonna run by these pretty quick, if anything.
Give me 1 second.
Oh my goodness. Are you writing on your Twitters that Sharona is Uggo? Can't believe it. I will defend Sharona.
So here we go.
Do you want to talk about one or?
Hold on. Okay, yeah, so you can see it here. Fans of Monk were upset producers changed the show's theme song by Jeff Beal to Randy Newman's "It's a Jungle Out." Wait, second season. It got changed? What was it for?
What?
It used to be something different, apparently.
What? Now I'm interested in this Monk conspiracy. The Monk conspiracy?
The Monk conspiracy.
Monk conspiracy. Are you ready, or do you want to figure out?
Oh, interesting.
Ooh. Guest starring.
So that song that they play in every Monk episode after the Randy Newman one was apparently the original one.
Oh.
That's what. So fans of Monk were upset that producers changed the show's theme song by Jeff Beal, which is the one I just listened to, which is the one that we have after the first one, to Randy Newman's "It's a Jungle Out There." I have to say, I really like the "It's a Jungle Out There" one.
Well,
the other one is fine too.
Yeah. But that's the weird thing, is that like on the pilot episode, the Randy Newman song is the first song that shows up, and then I got really confused because like episodes later I was like, that's a completely different song.
That's now I'm gonna check season 2 and see if it is the same.
If they changed it,
yeah, because it would mean that, or would probably mean, right? It's weird that the pilot episode had that though.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. It was just
it's really bizarre. That.
You know what else is really bizarre? The news.
Wow, this guy loves news.
Anyways, the news. So are you excited to play video games on your PC? Yes. Okay, so guess what, bitch? 2 games are coming up for the PC. Final Fantasy 16 PC version is in its final stages of optimization, so people should expect that the game is going to be really, really intensive. And
I just listened to the Monk thing. What are we talking about?
Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC.
Yeah.
And then Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC as well. So double dipping for Ghost of Tsushima? Who knows? Will you double dip for the Ghost of Tsushima?
I didn't first dip, bro.
Wow, I can't believe you hate samurais and ninjas. So Ghost of Tsushima has been announced for PC for May 16th. So get excited for that. I still have to play that DLC for Ghost of Tsushima. On top of that, Capcom has announced that it will be increasing its starting salary in Japan by more than 25%. Existing employees will also get a one-time special payment and an average salary increase of more than 5%. So Capcom is doing some good shit, but also some bad shit, because there was also some some backlash during the end of March because of Dragon's Dogma 2. So there's been a lot of discourse specifically towards Dragon Dogma 2 because of the microtransactions, which I have been somewhat vocal on Capcom's microtransactions that they're kind of egregious, but not to the extent of horrid. They are obnoxious. I think that's the word I can say, is that a lot of single player stuff that Capcom pulls out for microtransactions are really obnoxious. But
the first time I heard you talk about it too was the
was it the Street Fighter?
The sword guy, Dante or something.
Oh, yes, where you can pay to get red orbs.
Yeah,
which
was super dumb.
That was really dumb. But Resident Evil 4 had that where you can buy like tickets, I think was the other currency, and it was so dumb and so stupid. But ever since I've realized this is like since the 360 / PS3 era, microtransactions with Japanese games have been getting really bad because they try to get as much as they can out with like the most minimal things. So Capcom is one of these players where it's like, all right, let's basically put out a one-time use item for no reason for this amount of money. But to give Dragon's Dogma credit is that a lot of people have come out and said that you don't really need to buy these things. You can play the game as is and you will have enough money to buy the items that they're trying to sell. But like I said, is that like it's obnoxious. A lot of people are getting upset because of the fact that it is obnoxious. On the other hand, the game has gotten review bombed within like the first week it came out because there was a lot of misinformation that was happening, specifically at the fact that like a lot of people were pissed off at a lot of streamers who were sponsored by Capcom to play Dragon's Dogma or review it well, basically going after streamers and being like, yo, what the fuck is up with this gross ass shit that's happening with microtransactions. And there was other people giving out misinformation about how to obtain these items and like how long it would take you to get these items. Overall, forgetting that in Dragon's Dogma 1, when it came out in PS3 and Xbox 360, it had microtransactions. And for the specific items, the items in this conversation is these things called Rift Stones, which are essentially your fast travel items. So these are usable, these are somewhat limited items that you can get that gets you from different cities and stuff like that. So Dragon's Dogma original had that, and it reappears in Dragon's Dogma 1. But to my point of it being obnoxious, if you look at that like DLC stuff on the on the Steam page, it's long for no reason. It's like weirdly long for all these like one use items. It's really goofy and dumb. But yeah, Capcoming it up. What the fuck was this shit for Xbox? I'm trying to remember. Xbox showed off some more games during their partner preview. Oh, they showed off a game called Unknown 9 Awakening by, I think it was Bandai Namco. There's a game called Sleight of Hand, which looks interesting. Most of this was just like teaser trailers and stuff. There's another game called Altars. The Altars. I'm trying to like skim through this. Yeah, The Altars, which looks like a base building narrative game. This other game that looks interesting, Creatures of Ava. Looks very colorful and nice. What the fuck is this? Some kind of thing with Roblox? With Chucky? I don't know. In Griefsville, where the fuck that is. After that, what we got? Oh, The Sinking City 2, that was announced. I have The Sinking City 1. I have yet to play it. Do you remember this? We talked about The Sinking City. It's a Lovecraft game where you play as a detective. Yeah. Do you remember in like the news that we talked about? This was like a couple months back, where the game was going through some kind of like some IP hell where one company was claiming that they had the rights to the game, and then the company that developed the game wanted the rights to the game. Like it was this whole ordeal where even on like storefronts they took off the Sinking City, like off Steam and PlayStation and everywhere, and until eventually the developers Frogware got the rights back, and now they're selling the game. So I think that was kind of the gist as well.
No, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, it was a whole weird like legal thing. Speaking of other PC shit, so the Stalker trilogy has come out to consoles. So if you never played Stalker, you can now play Stalker on your PlayStation and Xbox. Uh, did I buy Stalker from my console? I did. I bought Stalker. It's yeah, it's cool. What else we got? We got a what the fuck is this called? What, a monster truck game. Monster Jam Showdown. After that, we got the expansion for Persona 3 Reloaded, The Answer. Oh my god, I can't believe it's The Answer. This shit is infamous as fuck if you never played the original Persona 3, or Persona 3 Fez, I should say. Oh, by the way, have you gone back to Persona 3 or no?
Nah, I just put my Game Pass back up.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm playing Diablo 4.
Fair enough. So yeah, The Answer is coming back to Persona. But I think it came out the expansion pass, and a lot of people have review bombed the expansion pass because it's also, like I said, Japanese companies gonna milk the fuck out of it. Sega's also another big player in that. So, more gameplay was shown for Berserker. The game based off DNF dungeon. What the fuck is this called? The First Berserker Kazan. That's what it's called. Some more gameplay was shown for that, which is like a cool little action game. Some more gameplay for Tau. What the fuck is it? Tau? I forget the name of the game. I feel really bad. Oh, Zao. Jesus. I feel bad because I played the demo for it and I actually kind of liked it. I enjoyed it. It looks cool. I like the African mythology.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks pretty good, man.
Tales of Kenzera. Zao. Yeah. There we go. I enjoyed my time with it. What else was shown? Frostpunk 2? God damn. I should really finish Frostpunk 1. You ever play Frostpunk?
No.
No? Okay. That's fair.
No.
It's a city builder. It's good. Oh, the next thing that was shown was another Capcom game. I forget the name until I see the fucking title, but it looks cool because it looks like Pikmin.
The Roblox thing is called Roblox Horror Game Griefville, and it's crossing over with Chucky.
With the Chuckster.
Yeah.
That's cool, I guess. Shit, I forget this name of this game that Capcom's coming out that looks cool.
Stealth Sim? Sleight of hand? Oh,
no. Oh, Kinitsugami. Path of the Goddess. Where basically the gameplay is like, it's like Pikmin, but with samurais.
Pokemon Go, man.
So yeah, the stuff that was shown at Xbox was Unknown 9, Awakening, Sleight of Hand, The Altars, Creatures of Ava, Roblox Griefville Cross Chucky, The Sinking City 2, Final Fantasy 14 was also announced for Xbox, Stalker Trilogy, Monster Jam Showdown, Persona 3 Reload Expansion Pass, The First Berserker Kazan, Tales of Kenzera, Zao, and Frostpunk 2, and Kinitsugami, Path of the Goddess. So yeah, Xbox showed some shit, and we got to see some shit. Moving on. Deviation Games is shut down before it can ship a game in its partnership with PlayStation. So Deviation.
Yeah.
I forget what.
I looked up their website. They don't have anything on their website.
Oh god.
It says home on their website, leadership, culture and community, our house, and swag stop. Nothing is a video game on their website.
Oh God. I've read this, but then I. Oh, okay, here we go. Deviation Games, the studio formed by Call of Duty Zombies mode creator Jason Blundell and Treyarch's veteran Dave Anthony, has shut down before it can ship out the game it was developing in partnership with PlayStation. Jesus fuck, man, Jim Ryan is really going out there before he leaves. He's really trying to be like, no, not anymore. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I do remember that like some guys from Call of Duty were doing a different studio, possibly another first person shooter, but still, that's unfortunate. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hosting network events. Wow, that sucks. Deviation Games was revealed in June 2021, and Blundell and Anthony stated that they were working on a new IP that was very early in development. That sucks. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I didn't, because I was like, Deviation Games. I'm like, I don't think I've heard of anything that they've done, and it's like, yeah, because they didn't make anything, because PlayStation was like, nah, that sucks. But you know what else kind of sucks as well? Sega has sold Relic Entertainment.
Good. Wait,
Uh,
not good?
I guess not. I mean, they sold it, but rolls across Sega Europe, Creative Assembly, and Sega Hardlight. Had some roles have been cut throughout those specific offices. Relic will transition to an independent studio and will no longer be part of Sega Group of Studios. So, if you played Company of Heroes 3, that was Relic.
Oh no, Company of Heroes. I can't
Company
believe it's
of
gone.
Heroes. Can't believe. You know what else I can't believe? Embracer Group divests Gearbox Entertainment for a consideration of 460 million USD to Take-Two Interactive Software. Take-Two will get Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Homeworld, Risk of Rain, Brothers in Arms, and Duke Nukem. Embracer retains Cryptic Studios, Lost Boys Interactive, Captured Dimensions, Gearbox Publishing, San Francisco, to be renamed prior to closing, including the publishing rights to the Remnant franchise, the upcoming Hyperlight Breaker, and other notable unannounced game releases. So, Gearbox now belongs to Take-Two.
Yeah, I wrote to you when this happened, I think, and I was like, you think it's worth it?
You get excited for Borderlands 4. Maybe it might be good. Or Tiny Tina's Wonderland 2.
So back to my question. Do you think this is good? Like, that's a lot of money for probably a little payout.
I don't know, because like Borderlands at this point has like kind of died out, especially
So if they can take that 460 million, right, that they put into the now technically invested in these companies, and they can make each one make at least 400 million, they're good, right? But like,
the thing is that with a lot of Take-Two IPs, it's a lot of stuff that has a lot of legacy. Obviously, Homeworld, Brothers in Arms, and Duke Nukem, and Borderlands being kind of up there. But my thing is that I don't know if Tiny Tina is sold well. I remember I talked to Wesley about this, of like whether or not Tiny Tina was worth it, and he's like, yeah, when you play it for the first time, but then like afterwards, it's like it's unreplayable. But I don't know if it was something. The reason why it was like that was because of what was going on at the time, especially with Embracer trying to like sell everything off. So they were like, fuck it, don't put so much investment into that game. But if Take-Two is willing to like reboot a bunch of franchises, and I don't see why not.
If Take-Two is willing to take to
the streets, I don't know. It's like if they do, okay, let's say a Borderlands 4 happens, because I think Take-Two is also like, they made some tweets like recently about like, oh, I think somebody asked like, what's going on with Borderlands, and like, oh, we're cooking in the kitchen. Oh no, BioShock I think was one of them.
We're making kitchen stew.
We're making BioShock to the moon, even though that's technically Judas, the other game by Ken Levine. Anyways, I don't really think that like anybody's really in the market of like, I need a Borderlands 4. as somebody that played Borderlands 3 and played all the DLC and all that shit with it, it's just like my hype for Borderlands has like diminished. Like I'm thinking about going back and playing Borderlands 1 and 2 and that's it. Like 2 was my favorite, but 3 was just like a fucking slog. And even with the writing of 3, it's just like I don't know if anybody wants to experience that again. But who knows? I mean, I think there are a lot of people that want like a new Duke Nukem game, even though Duke Nukem Forever was bad. There's also that. And then Risk of Rain, you know, people really like that series, which is
that was
good.
A good game.
Yeah, people like that. But my
what if it was Duke Nukem to the streets?
I mean, that would be cool. But I think my curiosity would be Brothers in Arms, because that shit has not seen the light of day in forever.
Wait, the Company of Brothers or something?
No, Brothers in Arms.
The shooter game?
Yeah, the game that was originally competing with a Call of Duty back in the day, with the World War II shit. Because
Medal of Honor, I think, was more competing.
All right.
I just know my shooters. I'm sorry.
All right. You're right. All right. But still, Brothers in Arms has a chance.
Oh, not another monologue.
Monologues. No, because like I think they were planning during the 360 and PS3 era. They were planning on a Brothers in Arms game that was supposed to be like a four-player co-op game.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, but it got canceled. I forget who canceled it because I think.
Do you think it was Sony? They canceled it because they were like, in 20 years, Deviation will be destroyed.
I forget because I want to say Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway was published by Ubisoft. Yeah, I think a lot of Brothers in Arms games was not published. Yeah, they were published by Ubisoft. They were developed by Gearbox, but I think they were published by Ubisoft, which is the weird thing. But anyways, yeah, I mean, who knows if, like I said, if Take-Two is willing to take two chances.
Back to the street.
I would like to see what they do. I mean, BioShock 4 is something that's obviously it's gonna happen regardless. Did you like BioShock Infinite?
Didn't play it.
Did you play it?
Maybe like an hour of it, but that's about it.
I played like I think I did like one playthrough of it. I liked what it was, but I mean, I went back and replayed BioShock 1 like last year. BioShock 1 is still pretty good. I think
would be cool is if they oh wait, that's Infinite, I think. Never mind.
Which one? If they go to the sky?
No, I was like, it'd be really cool if they like did like how did this happen? And Infinite was like how it went underwater, right?
Yes, Infinite does. Okay, so Infinite does this thing where it's like multiverses. So it's like,
do you see Spider-Man 3 different times?
No, but you do see different Elizabeths. Elizabeth. But yeah, I would just be curious as to what they do next, because obviously Ken Levine is doing Judas, and that's essentially BioShock. No, that's essentially System Shock all over again. So, oh god, that reminds me, System Shock remake is coming to consoles. So,
good thing I have a PC.
Good thing I have a PC. Have you picked up System Shock remake at all?
Wait a second. They put Evil West. Sorry, finish what you're saying. My bad. I literally just pulled my attention.
It's okay. Subway Surfers. Did you play System Shock remake or no?
No, I've never played System Shock in the first system time.
Okay, well, okay, relax. Okay, I'm just asking a question. Jesus fuck.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying this. Like, I would really recommend that remake. That remake is fan-fucking-tastic. I enjoyed my time with it.
Would you recommend?
I will recommend you play System Shock Ubu.
Oh yeah, okay. Sure, bad.
But I feel bad for the people who are still in that embracer grip. You know, Lost Boys Interactive, Captured Dimensions, Gearbox Publishing San Francisco, Cryptic Studios, because poor Remnant is still fucked. Remnant,
Remnant.
yeah, Remnant is still under Embracer. Same thing with Hyperlight
You're talking about
Breaker.
Remnant 1 and 2?
Yeah,
Ah.
because that's THQ Nordic that published it, and I think it's Gunfire Games that developed it.
It's wild because THQ, I don't know which company it was, but like they did really good games and it kept switching like ownership too much that like it just became like
So the weird thing is that THQ Nordic is not the original THQ. Its name came from Embracer when they bought it. So in order to get people to kind of like stick around of like, oh, THQ still exists, they put THQ in the name. From what I understand, I could be getting all the details wrong, but I understand that THQ Nordic is not the same thing as original THQ. So yeah, because I think I remember that like Embracer, when it was acquiring shit, THQ was like top at its list. And then like a bunch of IPs that everybody forgot that THQ owned is just like, oh yeah, that's coming back again. You know, Destroy All Humans. Trying to think of another THQ game. You know the ones. You know.
they did the what's it called? The Brother War Pestilence, the Four Horsemen
Oh,
brothers.
Darksiders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's another one.
I love Darksiders.
Yeah, because when did it become THQ Nordic? I think once at Darksiders 3, maybe?
I don't know. I thought it was always that way for even the first one, but it probably said THQ and I'm just dumb.
Yeah. Well,
Age of Empires.
Age of Empires. So yeah, embrace the grip, the death grips. Speaking of death grips, yo, did you know that Shinji Mikami is coming back to video games?
Who?
Okay, so Shinji Mikami was the original director of Resident Evil 1. So people might call him the master of horror. This is what's hilarious is that Shinji Mikami left Capcom after Resident Evil 4. He did some collaboration with Suda 51 for Shadows of the Damned, and afterwards he was like, oh, I'm gonna make my own company. So that company became Tango Gameworks, and that was the studio behind The Evil Within, Evil Within 2, and Hi-Fi Rush. So I believe after he had no association with Evil Within 2 from what I understand. But he left Tango Gameworks and was like, "Oh, I'm going into retirement." Everyone thought that was weird at a point because it's just like, "Oh, you know, he's known for doing stuff." Oh, he also did Vanquish. I forgot about Vanquish. Everybody forgets about Vanquish, even though Vanquish is a very good shooter. Anyways, so he left Tango, and the funny thing is that like he did say he was going to retirement, and then now in a statement, he's like, I'm gonna start up a new studio called Kamui, Incorporated. So, yep, he's coming back, baby. So yeah, he's also the director behind Resident Evil 4. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, this is the goofy shit. Get excited for whatever the fuck he's making, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would be interested to see him doing something different because everybody wants him to do more horror game stuff, but it's like, let the man do whatever the fuck he wants. That's how we fucking got Evil Within, was because a company was like, oh, we like what you did with Resident Evil 4, do it again. He's like, oh. I was really hoping it would be something different. Speaking of something different, yo, did you check out Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra? Did you see the cutscenes?
That's cool.
Yeah. So, during a Unreal press conference, they showed off the upcoming Marvel game with Captain America and Black Panther.
Captain America.
Captain American. Basically showing off Unreal Engine 5 and showing that faces do be looking like faces. they do look like the real peoples. Yeah, they showed off a little bit of animation for the actor that's playing Black Panther, and man, that shit looks wild. But still, look cool. Looks really cool. I'm interested. Also, Amy Hennig, excuse me. Amy Hennig is the writer for this game, so I would be interested in this. If you don't know who she is the writer for the Uncharted games, and I believe also the Last of Us, the first one. I have to see. Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig wrote yeah, Blood Omen, Uncharted. Oh no, she didn't do Last of Us. It was just Uncharted. But yeah, Amy Hennig wrote Uncharted. She collaborated with it. Anyways, whatever. Amy Hennig, cool. Moving on. Sad news in the month of March. Sad news for everyone worldwide. Akira Toriyama passed away at the age of 68 on March 1st, due to an acute subdural hematoma. And yeah, it's the news came out March 8th, and it was a really sad week. And I thought at this point we can talk about Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball.
Alright, what about Dragon Ball, though?
I don't know. How has Dragon Ball affected you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Bro, I'm so fucking...
I know you're cooked. Anyways.
I was so fucking, like, out of what you were saying for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. How has Dragon Ball affected me?
Mm-hmm.
How has Dragon Ball affected me? I mean, aside from Wolverine, Goku became my favorite character. From like most things. This is what you wanted. Like you want me to say like, oh, like when I watched it, I became.
I want you
so
to
motivated.
praise Dragon Ball.
I'm trying. That's what I'm doing.
No,
That's what I
no.
just said. Like he was my favorite character. And
No,
like,
I'm just saying it's just like, you know, it's crazy to think of how big a phenomenon Dragon Ball is and will be forever when you really think about it.
So I don't get to talk about how it affected me. You're just gonna take that away from me now.
No, I'm just trying to tell you, like,
just taking it away from me as I'm.
I mean, if you want me to, because you're like, what do you want me to talk about, bro? And I'm like, okay, here's what you can talk about. Don't tell me what to talk about. Or like, okay.
Now he's trying to take away my heartfelt moment with Kirigami Sensei.
I'm taking it away. Anyways, Dragon Ball affected me.
Wow. So yeah, like my favorite character, Goku, and like
the Piccolo.
And you know, its hentai was pretty good, so that was helpful.
There's a lot of Dragon Ball hentai. Continue.
And I don't know. I mean, like, I think a lot about like when I was a kid, because like that's really when I was into Dragon Ball and like all that stuff. Like I remember anime music videos being a big thing when I was younger.
Oh yeah, Linkin Park cross Gohan.
It's actually 3 doors down usually, but yeah.
Oh really? I saw more Linkin Park.
I saw a lot of Linkin Park, but the one where Gohan's in the water drowning, it's like I stumbled in and bumped my head, and then he bumps his head on the rock and then he falls in the water. It's like you're supposed to put the music with the AMV, you know?
Yeah.
So you just wouldn't understand. It's
no, I understand. No, I understand.
So like, there's a lot of music I actually ended up getting into because of Dragon Ball, and then I don't know, like just really an appreciation for anime kind of came from it more than anything probably. But there's like a ton of lessons and stuff to learn in that show, just like a lot of like other TV shows. But you know, they had yellow hair. That was cool.
Yeah,
I got to see giant monkeys fight. That was cool.
that was
I
cool.
really enjoyed the fight scenes. I don't know. It's one of my favorite animes, so like I think it just influences me overall.
Mhm.
Um and I hope that Sensei Kirigami hashtag one Wanani is like, chilling now. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
That's cool, bro.
Can you put a cat eating cheeseburgers underneath you while you talk now?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, cool.
As for Chunch, yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball was my childhood. To be fair, like Dragon Ball was like everything that I loved about cartoons and anime, and what really got me into anime. Obviously, I mean, it's been everybody's like kind of gateway to animes. Um, and I think the appreciation of Dragon Ball that I have is just like it kind of got me into like other, I would say, dumb things, because of like power levels and like action and stuff like that, to get more interested into just dumb bullshit, but also check out what the fuck is happening over with Japan's entertainment stuff of like Kamen Rider or video games or like or other animes that are influenced by Dragon Ball. And growing up, I wanted to draw. I wanted to draw characters, and a lot of inspirations that I took was from Dragon Ball. Akira Toriyama is an inspiration for me, I would have to say, especially growing up. Always wanted to draw Goku. Always wanted to draw Vegeta. Those are characters that like any kid would love to draw because of just like the angular like proportions. Fucking Vegeta's widow's peak, I should say. Um, yeah, and obviously Akira Toriyama was influential for a lot of other people who do manga. Um, you know, uh, so to have those people come out in statements talking
Oh,
about him and talking about how much he has influenced them, it's really nice to see that. And not only that, it's just like his art style also went on to do video games. You have Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, um Blue Dragon, and then you have an upcoming game, Sandland, which is based off a one-time manga that he decided to do. And yeah, like his cultural relevance is still here. It will forever be here. And then fucking another Dragon Ball game is coming out, Sparking Zero, where it's Dragon Ball Tenkaichi Budokai 4. And yeah, it's like the amount of people who are excited for that. It's obvious that like they love Akira Toriyama, they love Dragon Ball.
and card Jichi.
Yep, whatever you just said. Uh whatever that was.
This guy doesn't understand comedy.
I
Um,
I don't.
I'd like to point out too. I really liked art when I was in like elementary school, middle school,
Mm,
and I went to I went to the fucking the
the fucking
what are the Scholastic book thing, and I remember
I like a book fair.
I got $5 or $10 from my mom for it, and then like I had to pick one book because that's what they were. Basically, it was between $5 or $10,
Mm,
and I was like, shit, I don't know what to get, and I got the 'cause I don't like reading, so I got the anime how to draw book,
yeah,
which is definitely not reading. Um, so I learned how to do a bunch of like anime shit, and on almost everything, including robots, they got the Dragon Ball hairstyle treatment every time.
yeah. That's how it is. That's how it
Yeah.
work.
So, because you were saying like the relevancy of like how it's in like a lot of these new games and stuff, and like I was like, you know what, like I would probably challenge you to like go get a kid from the '90s or mid '90s to like 2000s and stuff, where we were like, were we not drawing that hairstyle a lot? Were we not using these like you called, I don't know if it's like the head style of Vegeta and all that. They're
The
like
widow's
it's kind of like
peak.
triangly, you know?
The widow's peak. Yeah.
And it would probably be tough to find like a kid that's not like, this is how I would make an anime character, you know?
Yeah, I think at
Dragon Ball
this
Z character.
I think at this point, if you showed a picture of Goku to anybody, somebody would say, "Yeah, that's Goku."
Yeah.
Like it's that much of a big character.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to Fortnite, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Goku from Fortnite. Yeah, that's how fucking relevant, and that was a big thing too. I remember people were like, "Oh my god, Goku is in Fortnite. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
everyone
play
loves
Fortnite."
Goku. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm gonna Kamehameha.
Uh, um,
I'm
yeah,
gonna Kamehameha.
yeah. It's just crazy to think that this particular person has been responsible for a lot of childhoods, and he's
He was on the right side of childhood too. We're not talking like he was on an episode of Chris Hansen, you know?
oh no, yeah, not like the fucking Rooney Kenshin mangaka. We don't talk about him. Um, yeah, it's sad. Like I remember during that announcement, I was just like, damn, man, like it like it hurts me as much as like Kintaro Miura. But even then, it's also sad at the fact that like Akira Toriyama was trying to get back because at a point once Dragon Ball Super started, he wasn't really like advising for Dragon Ball as much, but towards the end of his life, he was starting to get into like advising for a lot of Dragon Ball works and trying to get back into like the flow of Dragon Ball itself. Um, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, like I said, it's for me personally, it's like the same thing as Kintaro Miura. It's just unfortunate that they wanted to do more, but life is mean in a way. Yeah,
Just
rest.
like our sponsor from hell,
Uh, yeah.
evil
Thanks,
comes from here.
thanks, Satan. Yeah, it's just sad. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.
R.I.P. All right, back to Satan.
Uh,
Yeah, man, we did it.
we did it.
We did it.
We did it. We covered a whole month. We did it. See you next month.
Shut the fuck up.
You know it's gonna be next month.
It's not gonna. We'll see you in a week.
Okay. Just kidding. Bye.